What's up, what's up? I'm here, ready to go. We're gonna get it running. I'm not gonna take too long. Starting a little bit late, but that's fine. I messaged everyone involved. So, it's all kosher. Don't look at that build. That's a secret build that nobody else is allowed to, know the details of. So, we're playing Khorne here against the Greenskins. I don't think I need that many. We could bring a Marauder Dual Axe. Maybe we don't. I don't... you know what, a Dual Axe is fine, and we'll give a, Chevron here. Lots of Khorne Gores versus our boys here. The Greenskins, they're ever present. They're very, very dangerous too. Against the swarms of like savage orcs and stuff. I do like a couple of throwing axes here. They tend to do pretty well. Maybe the last unit can be the Broods of the Hound. Got 1050 gold left. Maybe we do something like this. Yeah, one of those is nice. And then maybe like a Chaos Warhound to chase stuff down. Because the Heralds here can take fights against the big stuff. And they also just obliterate infantry if they actually make contact, so... kind of like the idea of having them in the army here. Although maybe we bring them in the opening? How viable is this? Maybe need one less of those guys. We've got plenty of flesh hounds in the back here. I don't know why I was adding even more in, honestly. Maybe one Fury will be nice, and then the Hounds of the Blood Hunt, maybe? I don't know. They might be a little too much mobility, honestly. Maybe a Spawn will be nice. They can be annoying to deal with. We got 400 gold. God, it's so awkward sometimes with the cost of things. You know what? Yeah, this looks good. You don't want to be too reliant on Furies against the Greenskins. Greenskins are pretty good at killing Furies, honestly. Having more mobility is better, IMO. Blood Beasts hit really hard. As long as they're not getting attacked by the Orc Biggins, they should be fine. Got nice infantry, we've got the Skull Cannon, we've got Skirmish to come out in the mid-game or the late game. Mass with Flesh Hounds and Blood Beasts. And I think we should be fine. This is also Bordello Landing, so we can probably securely hold on to our back objective, but we also do have the availability of the Khorne's Heralds. They should be able to run over any goblins that try to back pressure us pretty easily. I mean, they just wreck chaff, and then they're really good against trolls too, which is part of the reason I'm bringing them. You don't see trolls too terribly often, but they can work against Khorne on occasion. Just having the AP from them can be pretty nice. I think we just play the middle objective. I don't think we're going to get too crazy. It'd be, I think it'd be a little bit less effective for me to try and push the back objective against the greenskins than the other way around, so I don't want to stretch myself too thin. Should be able to just hold it with one Marauder, and then pressure from the Khorne's Heralds. And this is a great map for Skull Cannons, because they can hide behind the center pillar and get some big value that way. And we brought the Exalted Bloodthirster. I'm trying to make this guy work and see if I can make him viable. Having a little bit of trouble. Very good in some matchups. I'm just trying to figure out which ones exactly that is. I feel like greenskins are a pretty decent one for him. Alright. Not sure what I want to bring in first. Probably a Blood Beast, just because, you know, I start off with a decent chunk of supplies here. We can play back and skirmish a little bit with the Skull Cannon if we really need to. Cool. Need more Tomb Kings players? There's quite a few Tomb Kings players here, and I did a Tomb Kings stream where I was just practicing learning them. They're pretty fun. They're a great faction for sure. Lots of Orc Error Boys. We do have Gorbad. We've got the River Troll Hag, who's going to be very squishy this game. That's going to be very fun. We'll get the Heralds over here, actually, and creep this guy up. And start looking to bring in our big boys. Wolf Riders can actually get farmed by Skull Cannons pretty hard. I just don't want them to be shooting the Blood Beasts a whole bunch. And we do get Boar Boy Biggins coming in first. But we've got Blood Beasts, who should be very good to support the front line. And we're going to look to use breath attacks here to hit the Biggins. Is generally the idea that I've got here. That does connect, and it gets a nice little bit of damage. Wolf Riders take a lot of damage from the Vortex. They're very squishy in general. So, nice little early trade for me. Keep my Bloodthirster back a little bit.
We have a victory.
I'm just going to keep jumping back and forth. And we got the objective, so these guys can start moving up. It's the nice thing about the Skull Cannon. This thing is so quick that it's very hard for your opponent to like actually make effective contact with it sometimes. We need to get up on the point, because the greenskins do have the objective on us right now. We need to be careful not to get ranged by all these air boys. Pull back a little bit, actually. We'll take a fight over here. Since these guys are all very split off, we're going to get over. We're going to start defending our flanks and get more Blood Beasts out on the field. They're going to be very fun. You can see we're getting a nice little chunk of value here. Certainly not bad at all. And Skull Cannon does whiff that shot pretty bad, which is very unfortunate. Now we'll pull out. We'll try and get the Blood Beasts out of here, and we'll just use the Orc Boys, or the Marauders, to chase down the Orc Boys. Let's pull back some. My opponent's being a little slow getting the jump off here from the infantry. Alright, these guys did rally. We're taking a little bit of work here, which isn't ideal, but we can probably break through the front line over here now. So my opponent's brought his Lord and stuff over. These guys are going to come over here. Get a side charge. Get guys over here. Getting a decent bit of value going. I think we bring in another Blood Beast. My opponent's taking this position away from me. I'll actually bring a Khorne over here. Good value early. Let's get the Heralds out. We blundered in just a little bit there. We're breaking through the front line in a lot of areas, which is so nice for me. Oh my goodness, yes. Let's try and get back some. You know what? I think that pressure on the back edge of the objective is not nearly as big of a deal as I'm making it out to be, and I'm not going to be going for it. I'm going to just focus on trying to value trade here, because I'm actually starting to struggle pretty badly, which is not great. Let's actually pop Khorne here. It should get me some decent damage in. We're going to actually land over here. We need to support these guys, because the big uns are doing some pretty serious damage. Let's get on top of that. Let's get over here. We should be able to break Gorbad, honestly, which is going to be insanely good for us. Let's try and kite away. Those Blood Beasts are super out of position right now, and they're in big danger. Let's get in here. We've got a decent hold going from our infantry. Just need to keep following stuff up. And we'll get the Flesh Hounds over there to try and help out. There's a Goblin Big Boss going over there, actually. Which is pretty surprising. You don't see those two terribly often, but should be pretty good here. Getting some good damage against Gorbad. We can get up in the sky, and now we need to get on these archers. Now that our second wave is coming in and doing some work, I need to break this pocket here too. No, 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 no. Let's break that pocket. Let's land here. We need the Blood Beast to stay in there, actually. Alright, we'll bring Flesh Hound out to go secure the side objective. Poor Marauders got absolutely bullied there. We've got a very healthy big boy here who's going to be a really, really difficult unit to deal with, honestly, for the Greenskins. Furies now to try and peel off some of these squig herds. We're value trading perfectly fine right now, and the Khorne Gores are getting some good value over there. We'll kill the, let's kill the caster. That's the, probably the biggest thing we can do for ourselves right now. And this should be a good fight. Despite the squig herds showing up, we actually won out here, too. We're going to keep following all that up. Flesh Hounds are going to get a little damage, and then we'll move over, and we just need to avoid all that cab there. The Wa is going to be pretty punishing. No, which I'm not super enthused by. Need to get running through there. We need to kill these guys. We're struggling a little bit in the infantry game now. Oh, man. Not great. Flesh Hounds need to go over there and actually kill those guys. Pest is doing a very good job of keeping the objectives capped up. I'm so far behind right now. I don't think I can win this no matter what happens now, because I'm too far behind in the points game. I didn't have enough cap weight, and my units just didn't value trade well. Gorbad was just too annoying. I just don't have the staying power here. Like, we're hammering home nice, but the cheap mobility from the Greenskins is just way too much for me to deal with, honestly. They've really been punishing me pretty badly. We beat the caster up, but now I don't have a way to chase it down. And it's something that's probably going to be able to just regen over and over and over again. Let's try and kill Gorbad and maybe get back in this match here. Alright, we don't want to take a head-on charge from those guys, because believe it or not, we lose. Which is very sad. Okay, the Flesh Hounds win, but we can't get back over in time. I think I went too elite. Cheaper would have been much better, and we did take the charge anyways, because I'm lapsing on my micro a little too much. Can we get it? Oh, I need the sword so badly, man. Trying to delete those guys, and maybe we'll be able to get back in this game. We send these Khorne Gores to the back objective, and now we do our very best to start locking up the points. But we've got more stuff over there that's probably going to ice the game for my opponent. I really needed to hold my objectives, and I just haven't been able to because of the cap weight problems that I'm having. And the Bloodthirster's been amazing, but is just not good enough here. Orc Boar Boy's coming to charge me down, which is making me very sad. It's just a question of capping all these objectives away, and you can see the Flesh Hounds over there really got beat up on, which is really sad. Try and break that position. We'll get up in the air. Kind of capping the middle objective away, but I don't think we've got enough time. We just weren't able to kill the River Troll Hag or anything, and got some good Bunas out of this thing, which really shut me down pretty badly. I mean, didn't get a lot of value overall, but I'm still here without any clean objectives to hold on to. And all the Orc Boar Boys are just running over all my stuff, dude. Ugh. That's so violating. Jesus. The Heralds were not good. They were a big value loss. Exalted Bloodthirster did okay. Probably would have been better with Valkia. The Blood Beasts were a little lackluster. They just got shot by all the arrows, dude. There's just too much bow fire here for me to deal with. And I got out-skirmished by all the Wolf Raiders. And then the Orc Boys just held in really well and didn't give me any room to value trade. And that's usually the downfall of Khorne, is just not being able to get through your opponent's units. And so I'm like, some of these Marauders did nothing. They just got folded up so quickly. Oof. That's a really brutal first game. I have had really bad luck so far in the last couple tournaments. Lots of bad matchups. Wrathmonger's ROR also would have been a much better option than the Heralds of Khorne's Fury. Wrathmongers are just so cost efficient, and they're great at killing all kinds of stuff. And they're a little bit easier to keep alive. I think I'd bring the Exalted Bloodthirster again, but you gotta bring more staying power with him on the field. Maybe no, I don't know. Chaos Warriors are so solid, but they do tend to struggle a little bit against good infantry killing power. Maybe something like this would be a little bit better for me to use. The Blood Beasts are okay. Maybe Minotaurs are a better option. I like the Flesh Hounds. I need to play better with them. Lots of Khorne Gores is still a pretty decent idea. Maybe some Forsaken would be a good idea. I don't know if I'd actually be able to afford all that, though. Maybe a little bit more like this could help out. I mean, Fleshhounds are really good against Squigs, whereas Furies can struggle a little bit. Minos also very good against Squigs. Tend to struggle against Greenskin mobility, though. Same with the Blood Beasts. Khorne really are a solid infantry unit, but they were too vulnerable to all the bows that were out there, and my infantry just didn't hold up. The other option is you just go with Skull Taker. You just bring the good stuff and go riding around, and he's impossible to snipe. He is very annoying. And he'd give your Marauder frontline a much better time against all of the greenskin units, as well as clearing out the infantry nicely. Skull Cannon is cool. Maybe it gave up a little too much momentum, though. Maybe something like this would be fun. It's really a question of shutting down the missile line, though, so maybe you just go really heavy metal infantry. It's a lot of armor for the greenskins to have to get through, and you could see a couple of the Chaos Warriors were doing okay. Maybe a Skull Cannon in reserve's not a bad idea. Don't have any more money, and I'm 25 gold short. Ugh. Brutal. I don't know, maybe something like this build would be a little bit better against what my opponent had. Strongly dislike Skull Taker? In what sense, Tabith? That's my question. Because I think he's pretty great. And my opponent wants to know how greenskins counter Wrathmongers. Alright, there we go. This is a much more meta army than what I brought. Exalted Bloodthirster is just a personal favorite of mine. It's a cool lord, I really like it a lot. It does tend to get a little over expensive for the cost and the price point. So, can be a little bit of a risk. Maybe some, nah, Chaos Warrior Halberds ain't it. Slaughter Guard definitely wouldn't be very useful. Cut all this and get another Marauder. I mean, with no items is pretty good, but Deathbringer is so strong. Oh, I was expecting Valkia, and Skull Taker will ruin your army if you're not ready for him. Skull Taker is so good at killing infantry. And he's impossible to shoot down, pretty much. Oftentimes what people do is they just try to ignore him and kill the rest of the Khorne army, which is probably the best thing you can do. Otherwise, you're just going to be grinding into him endlessly, and the Khorne army is going to get a leg up on you as you try to kill Skull Taker. So, we tried something different in the first game. We'll try and mix up the build some. I would just really like it if Sia would give a balance pass to some of the other stuff. Blood Crushers have never been all that strong. I really thought they would do a little bit better in that matchup, but there were no trolls or anything for them to really enjoy fighting. Charging down Chaff works great for up to a point. Once the Boarboy Biggins come out, though, it gets a little hazardous for these guys. They can do all right in that fight, but the problem is the anti-large bonus that the Boarboys have, especially with Gorbat on the field. Gorbat's very good at giving buffs to units. They'll absolutely shred through the Heralds. Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. It takes a lot to keep everything in order as it is, so I can't imagine it's easy for CA on a regular basis to go back and put out all the patches, which is why I really appreciate the effort they put into this game. Hopefully next matchup isn't as rough, because I do think Greenskins have a pretty nice matchup against Khorne. I think players that really know what they're doing with them are just going to find ways to bring in a lot of chaff that's very cost effective and just tear apart all of your units. Oh, next round's up? Cool. Oh, and we're playing Martinius. Oh, this is going to be really tough. Martinius is a very good player. I don't know who they're playing right now, though. Just gonna see what I need to prepare for. Probably Warriors. Yeah, Warriors of Chaos. Oh my god, Warriors of Chaos are a really tough matchup for Khorne. Soul of Damnation is a brutal, brutal unit to have to try and contend with. See what we can do though. Martinius brings some very interesting builds. Oh, I don't think the Blood Reapers are going to be very good against what Martinius likes. They'll probably get bodied, honestly. I think we leave the Exalted Bloodthirster off the table here. Arball is not a very good idea. You know what we're gonna do? You know what? I'm gonna commit to it. I'm gonna bring another Sloth special rather than anything super meta. Soul of Damnation's gonna do a lot of damage to the infantry, which is not gonna be good for me. They do really well against skirmishers. Khorne cores get beat up pretty badly as well. I'm a little stressed about this matchup. It's really hard. Maybe just one Blood Reaper. Nah, we'll commit to the two. I've brought something similar to what I'm gonna bring here, and done pretty well against the Warriors of Chaos. Don't know if it's gonna work against whatever madness Martinius is gonna be cooking up here. We need to make sure that the map is correct as well. So Crystal Lake is going to be the option. There is cover on this map to hide away from the Skull Cannon, which might be really nice for me. I might want to avail myself of it. Maybe we go with Valkia. She's so much cheaper. She should give us a solid backbone. to stand off from. I think we'll play the premium and get these guys. A couple of Furies is good. Hounds of the Bloodhunt are too risky. Hellstriders do way too much damage to them. Hellstriders do way too much damage to most of Khorne's units in general. Try Chaos Knight out. One of those guys and one Blood Beast. Or Fleshhound, a couple of Furies. Khorngors, and another, maybe another Halberd or something. One Throwing Axe. I don't know. Is this too expensive, though? I don't know. It's tough to say, honestly. See, the Halberds would be good as long as the Soul of Damnation isn't destroying you, which is what I'm very worried about. Chaos Knights are pretty weak to it as well. I'm so indecisive, dude. I have no idea what I want to bring here. Do some Bloodletters. We'll just do something like this. The breath attacks are for trying to kill the Soul of Damnation. Otherwise, it's gonna do tons of damage to me, and it's gonna really hurt trying to play the game that way. I can't afford to not prepare for it. Alright, we'll see if the infantry swarms are going to be effective against the Warriors of Chaos here. We can always take the high ground point and try and hide as much of our stuff away from the Soul as possible. And the Skull Cannon should be able to shoot down the Soul of Damnation with the help of a Bloodthirster, breath attack or two. I've experimented with that combo a little bit. Found some success. It's not easy, though. You do need to be very careful of all the Marauder Horsemen. So they do really, really well at shooting down Bloodthirsters and even Skull Cannons if you give the opportunity to them. Hide in the trees, and we'll trot all of our infantry forward. We'll keep the elite stuff in the forest there. It's a pretty small army for Martinius. Didn't bring Deathbringer. Usually not something that I leave off. But doing it this time, I'm just gonna see what ends up happening here. We might see Chicken in the Sky. Chicken's pretty good against Khorne. Okay. Martinius is ready. We'll get up on the points. We'll just stay in the trees. I'm not dealing with all those Marauder Horse Masters right now. And take Fire at Will off. Oh, and we got a Shadows Caster with Enfeebling Foe and the Withering. And there it is. The bread and butter. The Soul of Damnation's coming out, which is going to be really annoying to try and deal with. And lots of Forsaken, man. Forsaken are pretty good against against the Marauders, as well as Khorne Gores. Just need to keep dodging all this fire here. Like, breakdancing through it is gonna hopefully peel a lot of it away. And let's just keep moving up. And we'll finally get our skirmishers going forward. Now we'll try and get a shot in here. Wow, these things are killing my Blood Reapers! Holy crap, dude. What is the Soul of Damnation not good against? I mean, for real, what in the actual hell? That's so wild, dude. Shooting my big guy. I don't have anything to punish with. I have to get into combat now. Take a bunch of early work. These guys should be able to do some good damage to the Blood Beasts. They're gonna get beat up in return. Hopefully it's not too terribly punishing, though. Skull Cannon trying to shoot from downtown. I need to countercharge the Zinch guy. Now we can move up and get these guys forward. And our Axe Fathers, Marauders fellas are gonna try and hold on the point here. Alright, we're gonna get over the top there and we're gonna try and do some breath attacks. And we're just gonna get locked in combat here. And see what the Bloodletters are able to do. We're gonna pop Bloody Shackle on both of them because they really do need to use it. And we get caught out here immediately because of course there's Hellstriders coming. So he baited me in there really nicely and is immediately punishing me really hard for my mistake. One of the Marauders just runs up into my opponent's entire army and dies too, which is really embarrassing. Not playing well at all. See what damage we can do here. He's just gonna sit back here and destroy me all game. He's gonna value trade against me really well. Well, I'm gonna have a really tough time here. I'm gonna start trying to kill this thing. See if we can get some good damage on the hero here. Let's get back some. We actually hit it there, which is doing some decent damage. Minotaurs need to get out of here. Use the Blood Reapers to try and trap some of this stuff up, I guess. We'll bring our guys forward. We hit it again. We might be able to kill the Soul of Damnation here, and then we're back in the game. Like, for real, for real. I think at that stage we'll be maybe even up in value. Okay, he misses there, which really stinks. Breath attack actually killed it. Oh, that's huge. Oh, thank God. Okay. So we took a bunch of damage in return, but I think honestly now we're up because the Soul of Damnation is so freaking expensive. God, it costs an arm and a leg, dude. And it might be a minute before our opponent notices here, which would be really cool. Alright, let's just chill. Yeah, we need to not get in there. The Blood Reapers are just gonna have to do whatever they can do. I'm not 100% sold on what they're actually going to be able to accomplish, though. Now, it says we're at a small disadvantage, but I think killing the Soul of Damnation was well worth any damage that we may have taken up to this point. God, I wish I had a sword right there. That would be so fat, too. It would do an obscene amount of damage, man. It'd be really awesome to get that off. Alright, the Blood Beasts come forward. Just gonna keep our infantry here. Bloodletters do a little bit. Our opponent kites back again. He's starting to run out of ammo, and we're starting to bring out all our Khorne Gores, who are going to be very hard for him to deal with. Just need to get out of here. Okay, we got all these Hellstriders coming in. Alright, Marauder Great Weapons are coming for our guys here. We had a nice little jump on those Hellstriders. They took a big pounding there. Okay, stay in. Bloodletters are dying, which is really brutal. We might be okay, though. We need to just keep killing all these Forsaken and stuff. Just trying to cap the objective away, but we are technically on it with our infantry. Need to get back, need to get the Khorne Gores in. The Khorne Gores on the low ground are doing okay. Let's just run over here. Let's get back with all these guys, and we can lead our opponent around by the nose, maybe. Blood Beast should be able to get a nice countercharge against all this stuff, and we're going to pop the army ability here, just to give them the extra melee attack. Blood Beasts do end up taking a big pounding, but we're getting some good focus fire in here. We need to actually get up in the sky to drop a breath attack. That's what I really need to do. Because this is an incredibly bunched up enemy formation. Let's drag them through the Khorne Gores here. Let's drop the breath attack right there, because this should be big money. Oh yeah. That was pretty good. That definitely got some good damage in there. We're gonna pop Relentless Rage on... Oh, I missed it! No! Oh, that could be devastating for me, potentially. I missed the Relentless Rage. Does mean my opponent's doing a pretty good job of value trading into me again. Shooting on the high ground. Doing pretty good damage to those Chaos Knights. We're going to bring out some more of these guys. What do we have for infantry? I think we need to bring some Marauders out. I actually think we're in an okay position still. I don't think I need to panic just yet. The Khorne Gores are doing nicely. And Bloodthirster's in here doing some great work. Let's maybe rotate to the high ground. I think we actually want to send the Fleshhound up there. This Fleshhound should be able to finish off all that low health stuff. We're going to use our Marauder Horseman to charge down cheap stuff. And Bloodthirster's going to get back up in the air and try and terror out things. The Skull Cannon is being really freaking annoying for my opponent, too. I don't think my opponent knows quite what to do against this thing. Which can tend to happen. I mean, people can really panic against the Skull Cannons sometimes. Let's get these guys out. Let's get back so we don't over-pursue. And we'll loop back in and around. Yes! Unsummon. Commit these guys in here. We need to try and get this big boy out. Not really loving the current situation against all these blood beasts. But there's a lot of mobility, and we still got a lot of Khorne Gores out, which is really good. I knew it. Unending glory is yours. No, I didn't win game one. We went up against Greenskins, and I was playing too silly of a game. I didn't bring the right units. But we won this game, which is awesome. We actually beat Warriors of Chaos. who have typically been having a pretty favorable win rate against Khorne. We just beat Martinius, which is pretty awesome. Martinius is really skilled. But welcome in, Jack. Are you not playing in the tournament? Yeah, killing the Soul of Damnation, dude. Oh, so fat. This is one of the most annoying units in the entire game. That put Martinius way behind. The Horseman Corps did nicely. Blood Beast did good. The Chaos Sorcerer didn't get a lot of value himself. The Enfeebling Foes were really obnoxious. Didn't do enough to sway the frontline fight. And look at the Skull Cannon with 2100 value, dude. Holy shit. That's so nice. Blood Reapers didn't get much done. So maybe just going to leave those off. I mean, they were getting dumpstered by the Soul of Damnation. That was really brutal to watch. So I think they might be too vulnerable. They soaked up a lot of damage and kept my opponent very occupied. And that's probably why the Skull Cannon did as well as it did, because it was hitting the blobs on the Blood Reapers really hard. Yeah, I like Martinius' build. This is honestly not too unfamiliar to me from what he usually brings. Martinius is very frustrated with the Skull Cannon. So he might not know about that. Oh my goodness. Is this a tech that nobody else knows about? He's pretty angry about it. I don't blame him. It's certainly not fun to watch your like key piece in your entire army just get shut down like that. Alright, maybe we can get back in this tournament now. We do need... Oh, Orange Pest is undefeated too. Let's go. Oh, and beat Attack Speed Enjoyer. Holy shit. That's pretty awesome. So, Khorne versus Warriors of Chaos. We got the dub there. I honestly disagree, Ninja. I think it's a hard matchup for Khorne. Warriors of Chaos have so many good options that they can bring against you. And they've got a pretty favorable win rate, too. Like, I'll flip you over so you can take a look at it. See, Warriors of Chaos versus Khorne. They're 15 and 11. Which is a damn solid matchup. Or win rate. Look at these two, like neck and neck, too. Kind of surprised to see Norska getting up here in the win rate. Yeah, versatile is one way of putting it. I agree, Adam. But hey, I thought everybody knew about the Skull Cannon, and I know that Boss Toss has been telling people about the breath attacks from the Bloodthirster. The breath attack and Skull Cannon combo killing the Soul of Damnation is big money for you. And then you just bring out tons of Khorne Gores and stuff. The Bloodletters I shouldn't have bothered with. They didn't do all that well. I should have just brought out all the Khorne Gores with my, you know, Monstrous Infantry. Try to keep them together as much as possible. If I were to do that again, I think I might just bring another Hell Cannon, and then I'd bring Dual Axe Infantry. Something like that. Or I can do this. And then I've got Deathbringer, and I could put a Chevron on this guy. Maybe more Marauders, though. I don't know. Probably this is a little bit better. Then I don't even need to use the breath attacks on the Soul of Damnation, and I can just use the Skull Cannons to fire past it. Still talking with Martinius a little bit here. So yeah. I mean, I agree that Skull Cannons can be a little awkward to use. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I'm just telling you that I'm not doing anything special with them. They just actually hit shots more than people give them credit for. Skull Cannons are very fun. Sleeper, amazing unit. They flip so many matchups around for Khorne. Adam wants to, Adam hopes we're gonna get into a game against one another, which would be pretty fun. It would be a Khorne mirror match. I'd be very down for that. Khorne mirror match is really awesome. Yeah, exactly. Khorne blesses me with accurate skull cannons. I am dedicated, if nothing else. This is my #1 faction for a reason. Look, I'm telling you guys, I thought skull cannons were low-key good even back in the day before they got the Vortex. They were amazing against Skirmish Cav, which was like your biggest weakness is Khorne. Now they're better against infantry, which is like a mixed blessing because they lost all of the unit penetration that you had on the missile. Like instead of cleaving through like 15 models of skirmish cav now, it'll kill like 1 or 2 in the immediate impact, and then drop the vortex, which is fine. It does decent damage. And it's still good against SEs, and I think they did tune the accuracy up a little bit, because I do notice these things actually landing shots more. But I'm telling you, like, Martinius is way off base with the accusations of skull cannons being inaccurate. They're very accurate. The issue is that they shoot very funkily if you just give them an order to fire on a unit. Like, what happens is the first shot will land super accurately, like, right on the nose. And then once the unit has a giant gaping hole in it, the second shot lands exactly where the first one went. And all the units there are already dead, and they fire so quick that it's not actually landing very cost-efficient shots. So people end up wasting a lot of ammo without realizing it on the Skull Cannon. If you target ground, or just swap up your targets often with the Skull Cannon, you get big value on these things. Alright. Third round should be up momentarily. I can't imagine it's going to be too much longer. Turin, Tom. Ooh, Staunch. Okay. I don't know who this person is. Is this their first tournament? Wow, first tournament, too. Holy shit. Alright, let's see what matchup we're getting this time. Hopefully it's a little bit easier than Greenskins and Warriors of Chaos. I know Khorne has a very favorable win rate against the Greenskins right now, but I think it's wildly overinflated, and I did not bring very meta stuff either, so... it all needs to be kept very subjective when you're considering how it's all playing out. Alright, who is Staunch playing? I've never played this person. I don't know who the hell they are, which is always a huge mix-up. They could bring literally anything and just completely throw me off. Oh, Tomb Kings, dude. Oh my god. Are you serious? Oh... I can't think of another matchup that I'd like to play less than this one. But we'll give it a go. I've got a plan against this. One that has actually worked out pretty nicely for me the last few times I've played into the Tomb Kings. Lots of Marauders. Khorne's in reserve. You do tend to need quite a few Flesh Hounds for the Tomb Kings. They do some pretty good work for you. I think I'll bring a Skull Cannon in reserve, and then maybe one Dual Axe Infantry, because these guys are pretty hard for the Horsemen to kill. And then they're amazing against all of the infantry that Tomb Kings have, which is really funny. Like, they do a lot of work for you. Well, I don't know, maybe a Skull... Nah, I think I do need a Skull Cannon. Skull Cannons are pretty good at shooting blobs that are on, like, Valkia and stuff, and can get some really good value that way. So the way you do this is Valkia and Scylla are there for Cetra and Sphinx duty. The Chaos Chariots are either for killing the Tomb King's infantry, and then they also function as a like a chaff clearing tool. And then all the Marauders, they just run around and do whatever. They usually get killed by all of the Tomb King's ranged options. But if they don't get focused down, they can trade for days against skeletons. Alright, so we've got Hashut's oil fields. I haven't played on this map. Is this the one... Oh, this is the one that's... No, this isn't. I recognize this now. Okay. It's a big map. This might actually be really nice for me. As long as I can get infantry up on points, you can maybe just stand in and hold. I might be able to get some pretty good work done here. Oh, if only I had a little bit more for another Flesh Hound. But here we are. You know what? Maybe I'm not going to do the Skull Cannon. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be very boring. Which you kind of need to do against the Tomb Kings. Tomb Kings have a couple of very viable strategies, and that's about it. So, banking on countering that is usually going to do you a lot of good. The throwing horsemen need to come in the late game when arrows or the bows are off the field, as well as like the great bows and also the horsemen with the bows. Once both of those are gone, that's when you bring out the Marauder horsemen. The Minotaurs are here to get on top of the big stuff, Cetra, as well as the Sphinx of Uskef, which I've been seeing a ton of in this matchup. Alright. I promise we do a little something different every time, so hope everybody is satisfied with the variety. We're going to try and pull the Tomb King's army apart at the seams here, is the game plan. Because you can't play into their middle main formation, because they'll just kind of flatten you. You need to take advantage of your superior mobility.
Valkia the Bloody!
We'll see what happens here. We're definitely going to move up onto this point. That one I'm a little hesitant of. It's very open. We are going to keep the Flesh Hounds over there to maybe jump on that point early, though. Do something like this. These Marauders are going to hang out in the middle. So Ushabti Great Bows are actually fairly short range. And if I can bring out enough stuff to be able to swarm on top of all of the Tomb King's units, as long as I can isolate them and get one-on-one fights, it should be pretty easy for me to win those. Khorne's units, on the whole, just massively outvalue, like, the individual Tomb King's units. Marauders beat the hell out of skeletons. They do decently against Nehekara warriors. You've got Sleipnir and Demon Shield. Sleipnir to peel enemy infantry. Demon Shield just to stop up damage from Cetra, who might try and die Valkia. And then old Scylla here is really good, man. Kill for Khorne is a great ability. It does a ton of damage. It's amazing against Skeleton Horsemen. This wrecks Skelly Horsemen. They do not like getting into combat against Scylla, because then you pop this, you do a ton of damage to the Horseman unit, and then you get a Fleshhound, and you can crumble them out pretty instantaneously. It's pretty nice. Alright, we'll see how this goes. Still not going to be easy no matter how I play this. We could probably... I mean, there's very aggressive vanguards on these objectives, dude. Might not need to do anything too crazy. I'm glad I brought all these Khorne Gores, honestly. Because they're going to be able to stop up any pressure onto the side points, probably. As well as take out any Tomb King's units that might be moving around out there. I'm just going to need to be very clean with my summons. You know, big maps like this can make it a little difficult to get over there. Click on the summons points correctly. I've definitely fumbled the bag before in the past. Alright, Staunch said he was ready, so I'm just going to get it going. We do have a big line of stuff here. Screaming Skull Catapult, there are the bows. Horsemen with bows are a great unit. We should be able to stay away from them. And we can move up to the middle objective, actually. The Chosen of the Gods are there. I'm not too worried about what I'm seeing, though. I should be able to have a pretty nice time here. Horsemen are trying to shoot at the Fleshhounds. We've got chariots coming in over here. Just bring a Fleshhound out. Fleshhounds are really good against chariots, believe it or not. And then we save up for a Minotaur. We're going to get ranged here, which is fine. We'll just come over here, and we'll come over here and get away from the bows that are shooting at our Fleshhounds. Now we'll start moving up over here. Let's just get up over there and start attacking those things. And we can hit these, Nahakara warriors.
We have a victory point. Keep it from the foe.
Is he shooting at the chariots? Yeah, he's starting to shoot at the chariots. The chariots are actually pretty maneuverable. You can definitely dodge around with them. We're going to go after those units there. Just get up on the point. We'll see what my opponent ends up bringing up over here. Oh yeah, look at my chariots, bro. Going hard in the paint. Love to see it. The Skelly chariots are having a little bit of a rough time here. Can actually start doing a little bit of a rotation here. Dude, Silent with the... Did you see the damage Silent did on the charge? Oh my goodness. That was crazy. He just wrecked those guys. He did big damage to him. We'll bring up a Minotaur over here and see if we catch our opponent slipping, and then we just take the fights here, which is really good for us. Sila's gonna actually turn around with these Fleshhounds and go get the Skeleton Chariots here. Alright, we need to pull out there. We don't want to take a bunch of damage. We've got all our Marauders over here. We're gonna just chill and hang out and do their thing. Valkia is going to look for a Sleipnir here, which is going to be very devastating to my opponent. And we're going to actually start going for the Chosen of the Gods, because my opponent did not really protect them. They're pretty vulnerable right now. The Screaming Skull Catapult's honestly doing more damage to his own stuff. We're going to pull out here so we don't take a bunch of poke on the Minos. And what are all... That's just all garbage. We'll bring up a Khorne Gore instead. And the Minotaurs are going to rotate. Valkia gets in here. She's getting some good damage. We're going to drop the Sleipnir on the Skelly Bowman, actually.
Witness my strength.
Sila's going to do some big damage here. You can see him beating up on those Chosen of the Gods pretty good, actually. Let's try and get through. We got all these guys shot to bits, but that's okay. We need to re-engage here. Nothing's going on over here. We'll bring a Khorne Gore and send the Marauders out to maybe go and do other stuff. Oh, we dropped a sandstorm there. The Darude sandstorm coming down actually did some pretty good damage to me. Look at the Chosen of the Gods, though. They're really struggling over there. Not having a very good time right now. We're gonna just maneuver with those guys. See what we can do. Take the fights here. We'll get some Furies out in a moment and maybe do some stuff. Running over a lot of units in the middle here. Let's pull out some.
Shield Maiden.
Sila needs to get away from that and come land over here. We do have bows coming forward, which is just a Fury. Summon away from being really awful for my opponent. Let's just do a bunch of damage here. Let's try and get my chariots through. Chariots are getting punished now, which is really unfortunate for me. But it is what it is. We'll bring a Fury over here to help out these Khorne doors. Just to help kill all these Skelly Spears, so I don't start losing the objective. And Valkia is going to be okay over here for a while with Sila. Sila's maybe even going to be able to rampage the Chosen of the Gods again in a moment. It does look like they get away, which is fine. We've got a Fury over there that can go after them in a moment. And the Minotaurs are doing some good work. Middle objective is a little chaotic here. That's a really nice Darude sandstorm.
Give me glory.
A lot of those guys getting punished hard. We're chewing through the chaff so well, though. We'll actually save our sword. You know what we're going to do? We're going to actually pop this. You're going to see how much damage it does to cavalry. Does a nice little chunk there. Valkyria's going to stay now, since they're rampaged and crumble them out, while we go after those guys over there. Oh, and the Nahakara warriors came forward when I wasn't looking. That's unfortunate. Okay. Khorngors to the middle objective here. We've been holding on to our points pretty well. Haven't had too many problems up to this stage. We got a lot of chaff coming here, which we should be able to deal with pretty easily. We've got guys rallying. We're actually, you know what? We're going to use this since Cetra is stuck in here right now. He's just getting the absolute shit kicked out of him. This is where our Marauder Horseman comes in and starts doing some serious work. Minotaurs are going to make Cetra pretty much non-functional now. We get any damage out of these chariots again. They did okay. They didn't get a ton of work done, unfortunately. But yeah, buddy. Look at that. Cetra takes a beating, dude. My opponent is down big now, which is really painful for him. And Sila's going to be very good against those chariots. He's going to beat the crap out of those things. We'll get our Marauder Horseman over there to help finish off the Chosen of the Gods. Just shutting down the Chosen of the Gods as long as they've been offline is, in and of itself, probably the biggest win I possibly could get right now. Middle points. Looks like it needs some Marauders. We'll unsummon all these guys. We're getting beat up pretty badly here now. I don't think we can just keep staying and winning there. So I think we just play the outside points again and ice our opponent out. See if he's paying attention. He kind of is. And now we just land the Furies to go after those Spearmen. We'll grind in here a little bit more. We'll pop our Horn, just because we can. You know. We're pretty cool like that. Big win out here on the side flank as well. Valkia does need to use the Demon Shield, because she does take poke against from the chariots, which can be really annoying. I'd prefer that to not end up massively affecting me. Time for another Minotaur to come out. The Screaming Skull Catapult's been really annoying. It's gotten a lot of value. I can't lie. but at the end of the day, we've done a very good job of killing a lot of the more annoying Tomb King's pieces without suffering too much for the fact that we haven't done any work trying to answer that stupid thing back there. Khorne is going to move out to the objective here and hold it for the next 5 years. My opponent is probably going to take this point, though, but that's fine. It is what it is.
Yes!
We'll unsummon this Minotaur. They definitely need to find something else to do for now. We need to get away from that summon point, because my opponent could jump on my horseman here. But he's been bringing everything to the center objective. And here we go. Now we're just going to start out capping the Tomb Kings here again. Because they don't have any way to out-cap your Khorne without committing multiple infantry units. Like, one Khorne is worth 3 Skellies. Grinding here in the center. We're going after the Nehekara warriors. We unsummon these guys, but they didn't unsummon. You know how it is. I'm gonna scoot over. He's been forced to fight very split, and it's really not gone well. We do have a Sloupnir here. Do we use it? Oh, yeah, you know what? I mean, this is a very dead Nehekara warrior now. What's left is going to get farmed up by Scylla here with kill. I know Cetra's coming, but he should be easy enough to kill. My opponent's going to have to engage with that guy pretty soon here.
It is done.
We'll just keep staying in there and fighting. We're going to keep throwing garbage onto the middle point now. Because we can afford to just bring out waves and waves of Marauders. And the Screaming Skull Catapult just ran out of ammo. Which means we should be able to do pretty nicely. Oh, and these guys are supposed to rear charge. I completely forgot about that, but we're in a pretty dominant position. I don't really need to do a whole lot. These Khorne are going to struggle a little bit against the warriors and stuff. Really nice play. We'll get back. We'll bring a Fleshhound out. And I'll sack the Fleshhound into the, Ushabti here. Yeah, Cetra gets on top of the throwing axes. Valkia stands alone in the middle. We should be able to farm up a sword soon and do some pretty good work there. Spread all these guys out. Now we maybe try for the middle. We don't have to. But it's not a terrible idea. Missed the charge here. A Marauder should be able to come in and finish that fight off. And yeah, Scylla just beats Cetra, as you can see. Scylla 2100 value, dude. He's very healthy still. You know, Scylla is unbreakable, so you have to get through all 2000 of that HP. There is no breaking for that dude. He is an absolute beast. Love him to death. We're just gonna sword here, finish off those units. And we're gonna finish this fight. I don't know how Cetra's leadership is steady still. And yeah, the Fleshhounds still have those guys caught up. In the wrong neighborhood now, buddy. You ain't getting out of here. Not alive, at least. The Imperishable One serves in hell now. And we just get some throwing axes to clean up these Nehekara warriors, and then we go home and pound some Budweisers, I guess. I don't know what Khorne does. Khorne does probably have a very collegial atmosphere as a whole.
No!
You might think that kill for Khorne being used on horsemen is a very big waste of your time, but I'm telling you, man, like, you can, if you get them to like half health, pop it, they're all blobbed up around you, you will crack their leadership open so fast. They cannot stand it.
I knew it. Unending glory.
We don't need to say that one. We got it on the we got it on the stream for posterity. Yeah, nice Micron Fury for real. Are you talking about the one that I wandered forward and forgot about, or because that's the one I'm thinking of. Infantry were fine. They didn't do amazing. I need to be better with my chariots. I got some really good early damage with them. And then it fell off some. But really it was shutting down the Chosen of the Gods that did it for me. Eventually got Cetra. Cetra is very disruptive. He can do a lot of work, but he can't be everywhere at once. And if you can avoid him, and you can put pressure on your opponent so that they summon out all their horsemen early, you can get up pretty big on the Tomb Kings, which is kind of what you need. You definitely can't play from behind against a good missile line from the Tomb Kings. Chariots are also nice because they, if your opponent goes really heavy into Sepulchral Stalkers, you can avoid them pretty easily and farm the outside edge of the formation. And if your opponent brought Chosen of the Gods, their burst fire is pretty effective against these chariots. But this is a much better target for your opponent to be shooting than Valkia and Scylla. How's my tiebreaker? Ooh, it's, I don't actually know. I think it might be, okay. Because Orange Pest has been doing pretty well. I don't know why I clicked away from the actual bracket, which I was already on. I need to zoom out some. Orange Pest is undefeated so far. Outer Region up here with 3 points as well. And once I actually report my game, I think my tiebreaker will start looking a little bit better. There it is. Slick. My tiebreaker is not looking ideal right now. I'm going to need a lot of help from my opponents to get myself over the top. Thank you, Ninja. We'll see about it. I'm not 100% sold. Right now, I've got 5 op points. Turin, Tom, and Alexander all have 6, which is that little bit better than me. I need pretty much all of my opponents to win their next games. Martinius and Staunch, and hopefully Orange Pest is able to go undefeated. Otherwise, I'm on the outside looking in, which is going to be annoying, especially if I grind back after losing the first game and still end up outside the top 4. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, I guess. It would just be a little disheartening. Orange Pest, man. Like, so solid and well practiced on the greenskins, obviously. A little bit of a lull here as we wait for the next round. Hopefully this last game isn't too long in the making. Just in quiet repose, taking a minute to get a breath in. Bring the Blood Brood if you can't make top 4. I'll think about it. It depends on what matchup it is. It's a good unit, and I think it's really good against, like, Bretonia and some of those factions. But I'll tell you, I actually like the Slaughter Brute a little bit more than the Blood Brute Behemoth now. Slaughter Brute hits pretty damn hard in its own right. And it's got a really nice amount of mass to be able to push through things. Just like the Blood Brute Behemoth is. I've been finding a decent amount of success with it. Usually works pretty good with Skull Taker. Just because he's got a lot of HP, he's very tanky in his own right. If you can maneuver him around and keep him from dying, the Slaughter Brute's 9,888 HP is honestly pretty hard to get through. Being unbreakable makes a big difference for monsters. I've seen this thing do okay into Beastmen, and also the, what are they called? How have I already forgotten? Vampire counts. It's actually pretty damn good against vampires, because it's a big tool that can run in and smack around the enemy's corpse carts and mortis engines without getting blobbed up too badly by mass. You should play Khorne sometimes. People talk garbage about Khorne, like they're easy to play, and I disagree thoroughly. I think Khorne's probably one of the harder factions to master. Not having magic is a big, big issue. It really holds you back. Like, if Khorne had access to really good support characters, and I'm not talking about the Blood Speaker. Blood Speaker's okay. Does have some pretty good abilities, but honestly isn't all that great. If this guy were a hero, though, Khorne would be absolutely insane, but that is why he's a lord. CA was very conscious of that, I think, that giving any kind of, like, magical types of support from a character would be a little much. They're pretty beginner-friendly, though. Like, solid units overall, and lots of good mobility. Decent missiles. You learn the ins and outs and the fundamentals of the basic interactions pretty well playing Khorne. And then when you move on and swap up with other factions, you start adding magic into the mix, you can really see how much of a difference it can make for so many different types of builds. Oh, sweet. We're playing Turin here, so we'll see how this ends up going. Because Kislev versus Khorne can be a little challenging. Yeah, Warriors of Chaos. Valkyria's great on Warriors of Chaos. Really, really good option, honestly. She can do some pretty great work. I love her to death. We're probably going to be bringing her here. We are playing against Kislev. Although, Skull Taker's not a bad option either. The thing you need to be worried about with Skull Taker against Kislev is Streltsy. Streltsy hammer him pretty good. Although, to be fair, Streltsy also shoot Valkyria up pretty good too. I'm probably going to do one of my more standard builds against Turin here, because I would kind of like to win. I'd bring the Blood Brute, but I don't know how good it's going to be against the Kislevites. It can definitely struggle. We'll bring one Skull Cannon. Oh, it's on Dunes of Cain, so this is kind of an artillery map. I've got a little bit of experience here. You know what we're going to do? Screw it. You don't want too many Marauders against Kislev, because they get folded up by Lancers so badly. It is so ugly for your units. They do not like it. I was going to bring the Exalted Bloodthirster, but it's throwing off the tools that I want to be able to bring here. I want lots of warriors. I like having a Fleshhound in the opening. One Blood Beast to back up isn't a bad idea, but I think I'm going to do this instead. Khorne Gores are good, but you don't want to be too reliant on them. Maybe an Exalted Bloodletter will be a good idea. They're pretty good against some of the mobility tools, and I think Minotaur's the best option here. Couple Furies ain't bad. Fleshhound. Maybe just one Marauder Horseman. We'll bring the Hounds of the Blood Hunt, because they can do some pretty good work. They're good at knocking the magical attacks off of the whatchamacallits. The Oath Brothers of Turin. Not that you see those too often, but you might here. Skull Reapers? Nah. Exalted Bloodletter, I think, might end up doing more work. The risk with Exalted Bloodletters against Kislev is Lancers and Griffin Legion. They do a ton of damage to these guys on the charge. And you really can't afford to let that happen. Starting to talk myself out of bringing them. What do I not have answers against? Is really my question. I've got stuff that can peel ranged. Furies are pretty good here. They can get folded up by Ice Guard fire pretty badly, which I do kind of want to avoid. See, the Skull Cannons can shoot little Groms. They can also hit the missile lines. So do I even need to get into the missiles? I don't actually know if I do. Brutes of the Hound I don't think are going to be very good. I'll guess we'll bring 2 Furies. We'll just go for it. I don't want to spend too long trying to pick these armies. He could go with a big monster mash, but I don't think he will. Not on this map. It's way too open. Shooting is way better here than brawling. Alright, let's see if we can do the Blood God proud this day.
Slaughter personified!
He's only got 10 units. That's pretty small. Maybe he did bring a monster mash then. Either that or he went pretty elite, which also isn't a terrible decision. Like, maybe, like, Zargard, backed up by some Streltsy, with a cheap Lord. If you brought the Elemental Incarnate of Beasts, I think I'll still be alright. Khorne are actually pretty strong against it. We should be able to get up on the points fine. The thing that we need to avoid is the Horse Archer play, because that will be pretty devastating to us. Actually, keep these guys behind the shot blocker here. I don't see why that's not a good idea, in fact. I'll actually spread the infantry out a little bit. One Chaos Warrior secures the number 3, and Chaos Warriors are tough for Winged Lancers to clear. It's a honestly not insignificant amount of damage that your guys can do. So we're actually going to get a pretty good jump on the points here. We got Mother Astankia on the field. Patriarch in the back with Sayak's Lullabies to heal her up. Zargard, great weapons. Dude, our Skull Cannons are going to feast here. God, this is like the perfect Kislev build to shoot at. What do we need first, though? I think a Minotaur wouldn't be bad. We're gonna split fire here. And then we're gonna actually engage in combat. Bear launcher coming in, does a decent amount of damage, and now we just twirl so that skull cannons don't take any shots here. They shouldn't take a lot of damage. I need the infantry to be moving forward. I completely forgot to micro them in. We're gonna shoot Mother Astankia, actually, because we can actually hit her. Took a ton of HP out of her too. Oof, duh. You love to see it, fellas. You love to see it. We could have... You know, I'm actually glad I didn't drop Sloughnir there, because it really wouldn't have done much of anything. We're gonna box Kislev out here. We're gonna just get our super heavily armored stuff on the points. We're gonna use our skull cannons to hammer these Kossars. And the Ice Guard. Good shot on the Ice Guard. They take a ton of damage there. Let's get these guys back. Let's get the Flesh Hounds over. What's he bringing out? Yeah, the Incarnate Elemental comes out onto the field, which I'm not super shocked by. I think my build's gonna be okay against this. I just need to avoid taking a bunch of damage on the nose early, and I think I'll be able to win this. Like, we've already traded pretty well against his army. You get a nice side shot there. It does kind of miss, though. Just pretty rough, honestly. We might Sloughnir those guys. I think we bring out another Khorne. We'll advance up a little bit and see if we can, like, bait him into charging us. He's trying to avoid damage now. And here comes the Incarnate Elemental. Khorne should do okay against him, though. We'll send the Flesh Hounds to maybe try and get after Astankia there. Dodge the bows here. Advance the warriors. Push the marauders forward. Get around the flank there. Valka's gonna pop Demon Shield and just keep chipping away, bro. That's what she does best. Get a rampage there, which is cute. We use our Sloughnir here, actually. It should do pretty good damage to this thing. To these, blobbed up guys. Run, 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 run! He fell for the bait over there, which is beautiful. Where's my... Oh, there's the right... Dude, these summons points are so far back. Holy crap. We're just gonna run the Griffin Legion and the Winged Lancers into the middle distance somewhere. And we'll actually land with the Patriarch. This Patriarch is super vulnerable right now. He does not want the heat. I'm about to put down here. Khorne Gores are going to get in there and do some sick, nasty damage, dude. Shoot down the flank. Actually shoot these guys. Yeah, the Zargard are eating it, bruh. Avoid as much of that fire as possible, and we'll get back in there. We've got Khorne Gores here still, who can get after the big old beastie. We're gonna commit these guys in, and we'll send our Minotaurs forward. I've been playing very cautiously with those, but I honestly am not too upset by that decision right now. I think it's actually doing me a lot of good here. Send the Winged Lancers over. We're gonna get another Khorne Gore out. And maybe some Marauder throwing axes. So they can shoot at these Zargard here. A lot of damage from that Incarnate Elemental now. We are killing those Kossovite Dervishes. We got a big value lead, to be fair. This should end up being a pretty big win for me. Turin's really struggling here without a really good answer to the Skull Cannons. We nailed those guys. Lots of stuff going down here in the middle. Big pit fight. Minotaurs grinding out some pretty good damage here.
One of your units has been Marauders of Khorne! Sent by Khorne!
More Winged Lancers coming. More Minos. Minos need to maybe just pull out of here entirely while Valkia kills the Patriarch. And Skull Cannons need to find a place to go. They don't have a lot to do currently. And Kislev's basically completely pushed off of the objective right now. Let's get away from there. Patriarch is going to get killed by Valkia. We're actually going to get in there with these minnows. Valkia is going to eat a little damage from the Incarnate Elemental, but we should be able to get away here just by wheeling out. We probably are going to be able to stop the momentum of those guys up pretty good here. Let's go after those Winged Lancers. We're stuffing Kislev back pretty nicely. Got these guys out. Needed to get them forward a little earlier. A little bit of a mistake there. One of the Skull Cannons is going to die. We're going to try and just save the other one. And the Winged Lancers, or the Horse Archers, are all going over to the side point. We're going to send the Hounds of the Bloodhound over there. Big win here. Winged Lancers just got crushed in the back line. Still getting held off the point. We're actually going to drop our Slavnir over here. This is going to be absolutely epic, dude. It's going to be so filthy. Woo! Money. Money, 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 man. Probably gonna lose all this stuff here, although we're kind of pushing through. We did lose one of the Skull Cannons, but I don't care. The other ones are surviving well enough as it is. I don't think it's gonna be too big of a deal for me. We did lose one of the Horsemen. I need to unsummon them. They're basically useless, and we're gonna throw at the Oath Brothers of Turin now. We'll try and hang in here. Valkia actually might want to get out. They drop their ability and actually do a bunch of damage to their own stuff, which is pretty awesome. Is Valkia stuck in here? Kind of. Need to get the Skull Cannon away too. Doesn't want to be fighting the Oath Brothers. We're gonna pop Relentless Rage here, because it's gonna help me out in this fight immensely. And then we'll turn the Skull Cannon around and start blasting away. Things in the Woods are pushing me back, but a lot of my opponent's goodie bags, all their money bank stuff is kind of on the last leg here. We just shoot Astankia point blank in the face. And actually, the Hounds of the Blood Hunt were a good call. They did actually stop a lot of the damage there. Look at it, the Skull Cannon, just Punisher. Oh my goodness. So fat. Such good value, dude. Gonna pull back. We'll bring, what do we bring out? Flesh Hounds. Flesh Hounds are really good against, things in the woods. Dervishes against these Marauders is actually going okay. A lot of our infantry is dead and gone, but we've got a few Bloodletters here who should be able to do some good work for us. Rotate over. Rotate over. Go, my goodest boys. Run them down. Show them the error of their ways. Look how quickly they chew through those. And now we just take the charge with the Khorne Gores. Even if they lose, they're still providing some buffering for my units there. Oath Brothers coming to the middle. They will do pretty decently here. Cossifite Dervishes coming in. I don't super want to engage Valkia into that. I think I actually bring up a throwing axe to get after the Oath Brothers here. Bloodletters should still be able to do some good damage against them, though. They've got good enough AP. Down go my fleshies. They did end up dying here, which is a little unfortunate. But I think we're fine. We don't even need to hold on to that point anymore. I think we've got a good enough engagement here to be able to finish this game up. We'll pop that. Unsummon. Cossifite Dervishes flooding the field. We'll go over here. I think, nah, it's too late. Oh, huge win. Double Skull Cannon, bro. Pretty good. Pretty good. 1900 on this one, too. I love them. They're so fun. Zero value Chaos Warrior. Doing its job, though, dude. Like, just set them on a point and leave them all game. And honestly, your opponent's just going to be massively disincentivized from jumping them. They have to commit a lot to send them out there. Thank you, Ninja. That was a sweaty game, too. Khorne Gores were amazing. I'm not super surprised. Some of them didn't do too hot, but the first one we had was great. One throwing axe did well, the other didn't, but that's, you know, that is what it is. And the Minotaurs did solidly enough. I was able to hang on there. I like horse archers, but if the Khorne player doesn't commit to throwing axes early, they don't do anything. They end up being really lackluster. And Kislev infantry typically struggles pretty mightily in this matchup as well. Incarnate Elemental got its value back. Oath Brothers of Tor did pretty nicely. Winged Lancers were fine. Cossifite Dervishes were okay. Kislev just runs into problems with width. That's usually the matchups that they struggle in, is where they end up going tall. Especially against Khorne, who's also very good at playing tall. That was very nice. I'm very happy with that performance. Am I actually in semis? I don't think I'm gonna get in. No. I've got the 3 wins. I need help, though, still. I need help still. I don't think I can get into the semis, unfortunately. It's so close, but I think I might end up being on the outside looking in. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it, Lahoot. Did you play in the tournament today? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Which is really unfortunate. Dude, Dark Age is in the tournament but didn't win any games? No way. Oh, they didn't end up playing, even though they're checked in, which is interesting. Dark Age is a really good Cathay player. They're the master of Grand Cathay. Alright, that's fun too, though. Spending time with family is important. So I'm glad you got an opportunity to do that, Hoot. What do we do with the rest of stream if we don't get into the top 4, which is looking increasingly perilous? Because Navigator and Outer Region stay undefeated. Orange Pest is up here with 11 points, too. Oh, no. I end up outside the top 4 because I ended up feeding my opponent Orange with wins. Oh, that's painful, dude. Martin can still get a win here. Staunch lost to Cartfish, though. I'm going to end up just short. That's true. You know what? I'll ask him. Alright, I asked Turin if we could stream the semis. But then we'll leave Turin to do the finals. We'll just see how it goes. I wasn't really expecting this to be a super long stream. I was just going to go until I ended up in or out. So, it's gone well, though. Much better after the first game. First game, I just wasn't totally on it, and I didn't bring a very optimal build. Which I am regretting a little bit. I had a Bloodthirster who is good against greenskins. I wasn't using it very efficiently, though. And the Heralds of Khorne's Fury just kind of got steamrolled by width and weren't able to impact the battlefield early enough. Which is very unfortunate. It's a good unit in that matchup. But your opponent does need to bring some of the units that they can perform well against. Ow. Okay, so Dactyr and Ash are the fourth place guys. There's probably going to be a coin flip, or maybe it's just going to be decided based on leaderboard points. I know Turin likes to keep the streams rolling as quickly as possible. Scalandiers and Glade of the Everqueen. I love Scalandier's Cave, guys. That's such a fun match. Or such a fun map. It's huge. It's so fun to play on. I really love the big maps. Like, honestly, even though it feels like sometimes there's a lot of empty space, I think it gives you the best, like, playing field as the Blood God. Unless you're going up against a faction that has better mobility, you're almost always going to be able to outmaneuver your opponent. Alright, Turin said it's all good with him, so we'll bother the semifinalists. Yeah, I think Dowie would be crying themselves to sleep trying to play Scalandier's Cave. Although they could bring artillery and play the two open field objectives, I guess. I'm trying to think of the factions that probably hate those open field maps the most. I mean, Dwarves would be rough. Grand Cathay probably hates it a little bit more. Just because of Harmony. Like, they've got mobility that the dwarves don't, but they're also pretty dependent on Harmony keeping their armies together. Ooh, Dark Elves Bretonia, hell yes. That would be a great one on these open field maps. Oh, Nurgle probably hates Scalandiers a little bit. Other than that, though, I think most of the factions have a pretty good time playing on them. It's probably really just Dwarves, Cathay, and Nurgle who have it really rough. All the other ones at least have good enough mobility that they can move around and get between points easily enough. Vampire counts, I would say, wouldn't like it, but they really do love to blob. And on some of those open field maps, if you can just get corpse carts up onto the point, you can heal through most of the damage your opponent does. And then you have just Blood Knights and Black Knights to back you up in the mobility game, and you can do pretty nicely. Master Necromancer is also a pretty good choice. And this is a little forbidden goody-goody action that I think is pretty fun to use. Is the Necromancers on the corpse carts with the forbidden rods. Because they can just juice themselves up. You get tons of Winds of Magic. And you can just drop spells all day from your Master Necromancer. You can also do the Red Duke, though. Red Duke is pretty good at supporting fights. And he's decent enough combatant on the Hellsteed to be able to character snipe if your opponent isn't super on top of things. Just because Elsif is so strong. It's not too expensive. I mean, this is a very expensive build. You can also just do one of these guys and bring him not on the corpse cart if you want to go really cheap for the Forbidden Rod. So you can always unsummon this dude. But stuff like this on the big maps can work out really nicely, because having the extra magic can make a big deal for you. Blood Knights need... I don't think Blood Knights honestly need much of anything. Maybe more leadership. I think Blood Knights should have 75 leadership, and I think that'd be a perfectly fine situation for them, because they have Frenzy. So they do want their leadership to be nice and high to get the most effect out of that. I don't think they need AP. I think they'd be pretty overpowered if they got armor piercing on their melee attacks. And their split isn't terrible for what they do. They're a strong unit, man. I don't think they need a whole lot to be viable. This would honestly be a pretty annoying Vampire Count's army to get through. Bring out another Blood Knight in reserve. Throw Cryptars forward, of course. They're very annoying. Hard to get rid of, especially when you've got Mortis Engines and Crypt Carts healing them up. Yeah, they're super strong in the right situations. They're great against Khorne. Blood Knights against Khorne absolutely carry that matchup for you. Because Vargeist and Cryptars can be pretty vulnerable to a lot of the swarming elements that the Blood God have. And they hit really hard against Minotaurs because of their charge bonus. They can really munch through those guys. Especially if you just drop an Invo and a Van Hel's on them. It's 11 Winds of Magic, which can be a little pricey if you're using it a whole bunch, but otherwise, it's damn strong. Are we done with bracket? We've still got Martin and Yashkaf playing. Oh, and Dactyr got the 9 points. Calling him out later. That's fair. Because you can do that, and then you can cut these guys, and then you can bring the crypts in the opening. You do need mass, I guess, on the vampire counts, just so you don't get farmed by chariots or some other big mass units. Counts don't need a ton of stuff in reserve, in my experience. Like, you really can get away with bringing a lot of really expensive units in the back end of your build. Some Graveguard great weapons. It's been a while since I played a ton of vampire counts, so I'm not like super experienced with it, but I have always preferred going quality over quantity with the reserves. You know what? Since you're going up, if you're going up against Khorne, you can also bring the Black Coach, which is really good against infantry. We're still waiting on this last match, and then we'll be asking semi-finalists to open up a spec slot so that we can stream their match. I'm a little sad I didn't get into top 4, but we at least won the majority of our games this time around. I'm feeling a lot more confident after today, because I had a really rough showing last tournament that I was in. Yeah, the Black Coach buffs were pretty huge, honestly. The only thing I wish they had done in addition, the last thing that I would ask of CA, is to just give it a teeny bit more leadership, like 55. Because the crumbling can be a little painful. I mean, it's not devastating like it is for the demons, but it's still not great to have this thing at like half health and it's crumbling out when you really want to be having this rolling. But usually it's fine once you get Black Nimbus and Unholy Vigor charged up. Those really help it out for like actual damage and being a little bit more resilient, because Unholy Vigor gives it perfect vigor basically, so it's always 78 speed. It doesn't suffer any loss of armor, melee attack, or any of these stats. And then Black Nimbus is just a straight up damage resistance buff, which makes it really tanky. I mean, 40% is kind of wild, and it doesn't take a lot to charge it either. The Demon's Crumbling does stack up the passives, doesn't it? Because it's models dying in a radius. Ooh, okay. That's good to know, Ninja. Thank you for telling me that. I'm going to be very careful about playing into the counts with Demon Infantry then. The Khorne end of things, you usually just go really elite. Like, Slaughter Guard and Bloodweight Berserkers are honestly kind of nightmarish for the vampire counts there. And then you can bring Skulltaker on the throne and just roll around and be a massive ass. Do you need to be careful with him, though? Because vampire counts can kill him. Especially with their big monsters. They can do some pretty good work against them. But you can also just go with one of these guys. I would prefer the Bloodweight Berserkers of the two. Slaughter Guard are very expensive, and they do a lot of damage to the stuff with regen, but they can get overwhelmed a little bit, especially if Mortis engines get on top of them. They can get leeched down pretty damn fast. It's not very fun to watch the Slaughter Guard get the life sucked out of them. That is where the throwing axes come in, though. You can always do this. You don't want to. You do want some Marauders. You don't want to over rely on them though, because the problem that Marauders have is their leadership tends to tank pretty quickly against the vampires, and that can be a really ugly situation to get into. Honestly, you can do something like this too. it's a really ugly build, but it honestly isn't the worst thing in the world. And then you back it up with the more throwing axes. You do want Fleshhounds and a couple of Furies. They're really good at countercharging stuff. I like one Mino. I'm bringing another Hound of the Blood Hunt. But this can be pretty vulnerable to the Blood Knights, like I said. There's a lot of build roulette that goes into that matchup, honestly. Which I guess you could say about any of them in the game right now. Dom has a lot less build roulette than Conquest and land battles, but it's still something that you gotta be very cautious of. Alright, let's go, we've got the lobbies set. I'm gonna go see which one Turin is streaming right now. That way we can grab the other one. Now he hasn't even advanced it yet, so we're still hanging in there, waiting to see what the word is. Oh, they're playing a tiebreaker matchup? No way. Okay. So that would be what's going on here. We'll just hang out. I'm not in a huge rush. Y'all should go watch the, watch Turin's stream. Just in the meantime. That's what I'm going to be doing, in fact.
That adapter is going to be able to do here.
So, if you want to hang out with me, you can. I'm just going to be chilling here watching the actual game. I was a little confused. I haven't been watching his stream, so I had no idea what was going on.
Let me get the message here. Okay, scrolling up. Let me see here. Where are you?
Beastman Wood Elves is crazy, dude.
Okay,
it's a fun matchup.
There's
I
like
think
VPN
that
client people use for, like,
Beastmen
old
are a
games, like
little
Home 3 and
advantaged
stuff,
against the Wood
where
Elves.
you can create your own VPN server with your
But
buddies,
it's not
and if you all
too
connect
brutal.
to it, it massively helps with peer-to-peer lag. Yeah, that's it, Idle. Radman VPN is the one. Yeah. So if you are in that situation, it's a nice fix. I was actually able to salvage a tournament game with it recently. We had somebody playing from, I think it was, oh man, was it Russia and like somewhere in the West, and and it was really laggy. But when it was like, I think it was Eastern Europe.
I mean,
and
if
then
Wood Elves
Asia,
protect
and
their
then
missile
United
line
States,
and
so
they
way
rely on their
You're
Eternal
able to
Guard
fix it using
early,
the, VPN,
just to
which is really cool.
block up all the Centigores trying to swarm into the backfield, they usually are going to be
You found it,
okay.
Mott? Glad-
Because Swift
glad
Shiver
that,
Shards, you
he
can
was
just
able
bring
to
a
help you out.
couple
Thanks,
of them
Armin.
and they just
Armin?
absolutely
Armin?
wreck
Armin?
the
Armin would be the name, right?
Beastman army.
Over there. Yeah, by the way, we had Wood Elves being played in the
Oh,
season.
whoa,
finals,
we
but
got
it's gonna
lots
be
of
Dryka,
Dryads,
Dryad
actually.
Tempest Scout, so it's not
Which I
a bad
guess
build.
works
You know,
too. They're
Dryka-
okay in a Gore Herd and
Dryka's a nice
stuff.
contest piece. Like,
They don't
Dryka
get
can fight on an
totally
objective, which
crushed.
is really, really tough to get rid of, and has Dryad summons. and
Drycha's
Melkoths,
got
so
Melkoths, which is
very
good.
clean. And then,
I
Dryads
don't
are
like the
excellent
Wild
fighters.
Hunters
I mean,
of
they beat
Khorne in the
most Beastmen
opening,
infantry,
though.
and,
They're
Deepwood Scouts can
they're
kill
pretty
things, but hard to
squishy.
protect them against double chariot,
Centigore
double,
sandwiching them will
Centaur,
beat
right?
them.
So scary stuff, man.
And that's going to be
Scary stuff.
very unfortunate and very
I think
painful
40K
too.
Total War,
And
if they do
Malagor is
Total
out
War
here
over
also.
40K, I think
Malagor
it
can just
happen.
drop Flock of
I bet
Doom
you we're gonna get dedicated
and
servers.
also cast
I
Enfeebling
think we
Foe
will
on
get
that
servers
fight.
for that game, 'cause 40K
and
is
flip it
like,
even
sure,
harder
Total War
for,
is mostly a single-player game,
the
but, like,
Beastman's
so
favor.
many people play with their friends, head-to-head campaigns, co-op campaigns, casual battles. It would just be a colossal blunder. And from a promotional perspective, like having peer-to-peer connections and being able to, because do you guys remember when Warhammer 3 came out, how haggard the promotion was? Like, CA sent a bunch of codes to people who don't play Total War, and which is a great thing. That's what they should be doing.
It's always funny listening to Turin's rants.
These people were doing 8-player campaigns, head-to-head campaigns, because that's like the coolest thing you can do. It's super exciting, right? But it was just a lag fest, dude. Just pure misery. I remember going to some of these streams and just seeing like these 8-player, like people were desyncing and crashing and lagging. And
I'm gonna watch from here as Scanner.
Yeah, not
I want to hang out in the
outside who's like thinking about getting into the game.
in
right?
Turin's stream
So
for a little
I think from a
bit.
promotional perspective, it makes a ton of sense to do that. Yeah, Warhammer 3's launch was pretty cursed. It was so haggard. But like that is, if I was somebody who didn't play Total War and I'm like, oh, we can have like 8 of us in a campaign map. That's
Look
so
at how
freaking cool.
aggressive
Simultaneous turns.
the
Let's
vanguards
freaking
are
go.
for Beastmen.
But then you
It's
just
crazy
get that,
how far forward they
then
can
you just
get.
get that, right? Which is rough.
It's so
Hopefully we
free.
get
I mean,
servers.
just like right off the bat,
So,
they can
ladies and
cap
gentlemen,
all the objectives early.
we are going to see who is going to be making the top 4 here. We already have our top 3, which is, I believe, Outer Region, Navigator, and Orange Pest. They're going to be awaiting atop the Throne of Skulls. And looking at the build here for Dactyr, playing as Cantel here. Going to be using Dryka, Dryads, Swift Shiver Shards, very classic stuff with some Wild Hunters of Khorne to take down the Beastman mobility. Beastman got a lot of Unga Bunga over here. We actually have double a Tuskor Chariot, Centigores, and some Spears. But as soon as the Beastmen see the Wood Elves have an overwhelming force right near the objective, they're going to be retreating back. But I suspect at some point those Beastmen are going to pour out of the tree lines right there and cause some havoc. So the rest of the army is going to be Ash moving on up.
We've got about 50 million followers. We're in the
Oh my
billions.
god,
And we're a
YouTube,
small
please. Why do they do this, man? So
Army is very standard
stupid.
Beastmen. Zangor's
At least
top
it's
tier
not as
matchup,
bad as
magic
Twitch.
damage, good against Dryads, Silver Shield.
Twitch is like
Shield.
8 ads that
Chef's
you
kiss.
can't skip in a
Just gotta
row,
love
and
it.
it just
And
takes
you also
all
have
the
more
life out
Raiders
of
with
me.
more Zangors,
Why I
Black
don't
Ravagers,
stream
and
on
Malagor,
there,
the Dark Flock of Doom
honestly.
Capture, so
Not that I could get
that is
advertisements
gonna
on
be
my
it,
stuff
guys. That is gonna
at
be
this
it. Oh my
point,
God.
but
yeah, don't
even
get
if
me
I
started on
could,
the
I don't
Immortal
think I would
Empire's
want to
BS.
turn them
Oh
on.
my god. Like, the fact that we didn't have, like, all the cool factions at launch and we just had to play, like, the same 4 matchups. Warhammer 3's launch was just pure suffering.
Ooh,
you know, it
Malagor
was.
gets hammered, dude.
All right, guys.
It's a lot of damage
battle
to
is
take on
and the Wood Elves
Malagor
are going to be
early.
advancing up with their Dryads to fight over Objective 2, and both players have taken their home objective, no surprises. And the Brayherd, the Brayherd, a potential huge blunder. The Wraiths of the Frozen Heart get into the trees, they apply the Frostbite to the chariots, and then the Christmas Cav are going to come in for the punishment. Okay, so that could have been
5 minutes of
huge
ads
blunder. We're gonna see what the
for
follow-up's
real,
gonna be.
man.
Wraiths of the Frozen Heart and the Wild Hunters of Khorne do got a lot of damage on the chariots.
Oh,
and also these
this
Templars are gonna
hurts.
get
But
smashed
look
up here.
how
But you
much
have to remember,
damage
these
the
men
Wild
have
Hunters of
spears
Khorne
nearby.
took in
More Dryads
return.
gonna
They
be coming
still
in to intercept as well. Wraiths continue
didn't do
fighting against
great.
the
It's
lines
really
of
going to
Melkoths
be
and
that
inflicting those
Melkoths.
wars. These Swift
That's
Shiver
going to
Shards
equalize
are,
that value for
posturing up,
the Wood
getting
Elves.
ready to get some big firepower down on these Centigores here and a beautiful volley.
I
There's
just
quite a bit of
I
HP damage.
prefer more
Riders are called in, Flock
Wild
of Doom
Riders.
activated, but a
I don't think the
complete
Wild
whiff.
Hunters
Flock
of
of Doom does
Khorne are
absolutely
very
nothing
good
there in
against
that
Beastmen.
position.
I'm going to be
That's gotta
honest.
hurt. So Dryka summoning her malevolent Dryads as the Dryads continue fighting over here, but overall going to be tough. This is really going to be the epicenter of action. However this fight goes in the trees, is going to be, you know, whoever wins is they're going to win the game.
They're
But, yeah,
on
we do
top
have
of
the Wood Elf
Sentinels.
Cav
This
ripping
fight
through
they'll
the
probably
Beast and
win.
Centaurs, but Centaurs also
They're
doing
not
the damage
surrounded,
back.
which is the
Blade
important
Riders piling
part.
in to help,
And they got
but
some
should be no
buddies to
easy
help
fight for
out
the Wood.
too.
As the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart continue to beat down the Dryads here, we do have the Tuskor Chariots, which will provide some nice anti-infantry, maybe equalize the fight. Swift Shiver Shards wasting into the side of the Ungor Spearmen, and their shield's probably not to bear, so they're going to hurt.
Shooting the
Blade
Ungors
Riders
is
about
nice,
to
but
be
I
run
would
down
shoot
by
the
Centaurs.
Centaurs and
Beastmen
get the
aggression is
Glade
definitely one of the
Riders
scarier things in the
back.
entire game.
But I mean, I
As the
think
Blade
that
Riders do get
Dactyr
charged by
was
the Centaurs,
kind of
unfortunately for them.
panicking a little bit.
In the middle,
That
Drake
looked
is
like a
doing well.
blunder
Drake
with
definitely
the
needs to try and,
Glade
move
Guard
through,
there. He
maybe
just
shut
got
down some of
charged by the
archers, or
Sentinels.
consolidate on the back. Now, a little bit of a shenanigan on the backside. Let's see what's going on here. A Wood Elf Dryad actually with the back
Dryad versus the Ungor Spear
starts to
Herd.
rip up these
Oh, let's
defenders.
go,
So the
dude.
Ungor Spearmen. Now, this is a great
A
play.
battle
because when the
against
Beastmen summon
champions
a
for
Centaur to
sure.
stop you just run back into the trees. Where Centaurs aren't going to be wanting to fight as much, right? So that's a very, very clean play. Wow, almost losing Malagor.
Oh,
So Malagor
dude.
dove
Ash
back
is playing
onto
so
these
risky
Swift
with
Shiver Shards
Malagor. He's
and just
taking
got
way
pounded
too much
by those
damage.
arrows, losing about 75% of his health, if not more. So that is extremely dangerous. But in the woods, it seems that
Like,
the
what you
Wood
do with
Elves
Mally
are
on this
taking
map
ground.
is
Wraiths
you
of the
keep
Frozen
him in the
Heart taking down the
trees,
Ungors. And
where the
Wood Elf
missiles
Wild
can't
Hunters
really
of Khorne is
shoot
just going
accurately
balls
at
deep and
him.
tearing apart pretty much
And you
every
can just
beastman they
keep
catch.
spamming
Now,
spells and
Railgun
whatever
Centaurs
fights
Unleashed
going
magic
down
damage
there.
is cute. It does do nice against the Fizz res of many of the Wood Elf units, but
Yeah,
they're still
dude.
gonna
Oh
trade
my
pretty
god,
well
that
into the Wild
that
Riders.
is a
However,
fat Flock
Flock
of
of
Doom.
Doom
That's
does go down
so
until it
painful.
equalizes
Look how
the
much
fight a little
damage
bit.
the Wild Hunters
And the
took.
points are close early in the game.
Oh, and now
Centaurs
the
are
Sentis
penetrating
found a
into
way
Dactyr.
in.
Clearly has very, very
This
good
is
mind
probably
control,
going to end
but
up being game
disengages
if
Cav
the
and Scream,
Wood
but
Elves
not
can't
takes
stop
quite
the
a bit of damage
Centaurs and
there
this
from the Centaur
Tuskor.
charge.
Because
Potentially an
Deepwood
opportunity
Scouts
for
are
the
so
Beastmen to triple cap
squishy.
the
They
Wood
just
Elves,
get
which would be very, very strong.
flattened
On the backside,
by
the Dryads,
chariots and
have annihilated
Centaurs.
the Ungor Spearmen. No surprises there. They could probably take like 3 of those, but we do get Gore Herds coming. But that is going to be this is a god tier play right here. This is just a god tier because it's going to force pressure off the front, and it's going to take a long time for those guys to get the point back. The Dryads will fight those Gores pretty effectively, actually. But Beastman, yeah, man, he needs to focus on the point.
Some Wildwood Rangers come in and save the day a little bit. But he did lose his Glade Rider that was there. And the Chariots push through and are probably going to be able to clean up all of those Deepwood Scouts unless there's a bunch of assistance here.
Relatively recently from the land battle community and doing very, very well, winning a couple tournaments. But the Chariots
Dactyr has played well and almost had an opportunity to kill Malagor, but now that the Swift Shiver Shards are offline, I don't think there's any chance for the Wood Elves. Look how far back they're pushed. And there's still healthy infantry posted up in front of them, getting them off the objective. That's pretty much game over. Like, Beastmen, if they're in this stage of the game, even if you rally, they are still going to beat you on points because they are so much faster than you. They have so many good mobility tools, and everything has Vanguard deployment. There's no way that the Wood Elves are going to be able to come back from this. They're too far behind now. Beastmen are going to be able to re-secure their back point.
So Wild Riders about to charge.
Wild Riders are going to get a good charge against the Sentis, though.
Epic charge there as the 2 lines do clash, and the Wild Riders should win that fight. Not super decisively, but well enough. The Centaurs do cost about 300-400 gold less, so it's still a decent trade for the Beastmen. Here we have the Wildwood Rangers chopping through these guys.
We've got Centaurs of Tzeentch out
They're
here.
going to be losing
Why?
both points right now, which is going to put the squeeze on.
They hit pretty
really
hard.
put the
There's
pressure
not a
on.
lot
So
of
Wild
armor to
Riders do
worry
beat
about,
the
though.
Centaurs here, and they get a little bit of support from the
I guess
Riders.
maybe,
Archers being
maybe
taken
against
apart by
Dirthy or
Treekin.
something.
Dryka is fighting on the middle and is going to start to flip that objective potentially. Is there a chance for a Wood Elf comeback?
Wood Elves are
objective?
pushing
The value
back
is close
some,
enough.
but
This
you
is a
can
very,
see
very
the
tight game
back
here,
point
but
flips
we're gonna see
way
Wildwood
off in the
Rangers, once an
distance,
anti-LR
and that
unit will
Gorherd's
fighting
very
the Woods, but now a
healthy.
great weapon unit will not kill
And
Centaurs
the
super
home
effectively.
point
Could definitely
flipping,
use some Glade Rider support,
even
which I
those
suspect
tattered
is gonna be the
Ungor
play here from
spears are
Dactyr. It's
probably
gonna
going to be able to
calling
hold
the Blade
up
right there.
a
Wild Riders
lot of
and,
momentum
other
from the
mobile
Wood
pieces
Elves
gonna be
for a
swarming
couple
onto the
minutes at
middle,
least.
Potentially an opportunity to get that. Now, the mid-game
Good
tactics are in
Melkoths
play.
and a
Wood Elves
good
tend to spam out Cav in the
Flock of
mid-game,
Doom in
so calling out
response.
Khorne Gores preemptively is always
So
actually
pretty
not a
even
bad idea at
still.
all. Melkoth's activated.
Beastmen also are in a nice spot, just being up in value. Even if it's just a few hundred gold value.
Wood Elves have an opportunity to get some value here as they do crush another Centaur unit. Dryka
Ooh.
going to be waddling in.
It's
and,
gross, man. The
yeah,
Sentis
provide a little bit of
are
damage
falling
there.
apart a
Melkoth's
little bit
is
here.
Very, very good.
Didn't get a lot of
So
value,
Centaurs
but there's
do
a
get
Khorne
crushed
Gore
up.
in the
We
back
do have
there.
the Wildwood
There's
Rangers
no
still in play.
missiles
They're
to
about
punish
get run
those
down by
guys
these
either.
Chariots, so the Giga Chad Beastman Chariots are coming in.
3
long
remaining Tuskor
range. There
Chariots.
they go.
They're like
and,
2 HP
yeah,
on
nice
them.
one right there. Runs
And they just
down
run
the Wildwood
flat
Rangers
over the
in back. We got
Wildwoods.
double Dryads being called out for the capture weight, which is a really good idea. And the middle is in flux. The Beastmen are getting folded by this mobile core of Wild Riders and Glade Riders, that's for sure. Beautiful Flock of Doom. Hits a couple units.
Those
Very nice.
Wild Riders and the
in
Glade
middle,
Riders need to
it's
go
a good
run over
flip.
the Gore
He
Herd
definitely needs to
right
get the
now.
objectives back
While the
before it
Tree
becomes a
can go
triple
over there as
situation,
well.
because triple capture
Drycha
Beastmen
needs
on
to
their
fight
back
the
objective.
Khorne Gores.
The Khorne Gores is...
And then it needs to be
Is there a
all
game
hands
audio?
on deck in the middle
There we
from the
go, I fixed it.
mobility
Okay.
in the Tree
Thank you
can
guys.
to
Good
run over the
catch.
Gore Herd.
Good catch. So there should be game audio now. Melkoth's on the Khorne Gores, unfortunately for the Wood Elves. They do have spell resistance. Dryads do kind of get intercepted by a couple Haggard Chariots here. We're going to see if they're going to be able to get through that. And double Dryads tar pitted on one unit here is very Bronzodia. Definitely need to get that unit out there if you can. That is an incredibly tough situation. So Wild Riders coming back, trying to help out with the Chariots where they can. Treekin just waddling about. They haven't been able to really get a fight in a long time. Malagor,
Wood Elves
very
trying to
low.
rally
Malagor
here
were
is
to
very
die, that would be a
admirable.
huge win. And the Wood Elves are now going to start playing for a triple cap, which is smart. So
Yeah.
they got Dryads moving through the trees.
Dryads
playing for
all the way
long
up
game,
through
which
the
is what you
forest
need to
there
doing
should
in
be
this
nice.
situation.
It's
Yeah,
going to
so
take
we
a while,
fixed
though.
the audio. It should be okay now. Let me know if it's not. Dryka beating down Khorne Gores is pretty cost effective. Not bad at all. Dryads versus Zangors with a little bit of Treekin support should be all right. And double Dryads here. Yeah, he's building up this critical mass of capture weight, but the Beastmen still have a lot on the field, and healthy Tuskor Chariots are an excellent counter against a lot of these units. That is for sure. Treekin battling it out versus Centaurs of Tzeentch, which do have really good AP. And now the Dryads have disengaged, which is good. He had too many committed there. Chariot being run down by Glade Riders. Dryka trying her best, just Melkoth spam battling Khorne Gores, and she's currently sitting at 900 value. She costs about 1,200. So Dryka's not terribly expensive, so it's not a huge deal if she doesn't.
The Beastman Fury is just going to be too much.
Beastmen do
I
spot the
think
Dryads
maybe a
moving to the
dragon
back point.
character wouldn't be
Centaurs
bad
have come
here.
across to reinforce here. The Centaur spam is very, very good. About
Helmet
a dozen of those.
Discord,
Dryads will trade well.
Dragon
Centaurs
Lord
get
is
trees, but
really
no shield,
strong.
Cycle charged and get wrecked a little bit in my experience.
They debuff
So what else
everything in the
we can do?
radius
Nibble
around
through
them, and
the
then you can
Zangors
bring
and also against the
Spellcaster
Centaurs. They are
with
making
just
progress. A lot of
Melkoths.
Beastmen casualties
What are they? The
So
Spell
back objective
Singers?
is for sure going to flip.
They're like
but it's just a
400
matter of,
gold
like,
with
time.
a
Are you gonna have enough
Melkoths
time
on
to
them.
do
They're
it?
cheap as hell.
Find out on today's episode of Dragon Ball
And I
Z
think that would
Beastmen. Do have
honestly be a
lot
little
of
bit
Centaurs
better
and a
than
couple
doing
Gores
what
out on the field.
Dactyr
Who
has
start to get
done
some
here.
capture weight over here,
Like, the Swift
very,
Trooper
very
shards
little.
are
So the
great.
play is probably to
Once
send
they get
your,
compromised, they're done,
your
though.
Dryads, like one Dryad
There
over
just
here and
wasn't
everything else in the
enough
middle.
to
You're gonna have
stop
start playing that
the
point.
chariot
Now, what is he gonna
momentum,
call in?
as well as the
Race to
Centaur
the Frozen
swarms.
Heart, so just a lot of aggression, a lot of killing power. They should trade okay into the Khorne Gores. They just have better stats and hit pretty hard. This is a very sweaty game. Yeah, these guys are both pretty sweaty players. Although Dactyr is somebody, or Contel was a very high-level Warhammer 2 tournament player who's just getting back into the game now. So very, very impressive performance here. Ash has been winning a lot of tournaments, so this is no easy feat. That is for sure. All right, so moving on up, we do
I don't
see
even
the
know
Wood Elves
if
securing
the
their
Wood Elves
objective
are
now.
like
They're gonna need
guaranteed to
play
be
in the
able to
middle.
hold on to that
Giga
back
Chad Dryads
point.
in the back
Even though
are
they're
fighting versus
retaking it,
Warlords. I don't know
I
who's
still
gonna win
think
that,
it's going to be
actually.
really rough
Okay,
for
they're
them
the
to be able
anti-infantry
to hold
Warlords,
on to
so
that.
I still think Dryads maybe win it because of the Fizz res. We'll have to see. Malagor's nearby there, and he is threatening that. So now the Wood Elves, they don't have a lot of time. You got to just go pedal to the metal to the middle. Ash doing some really good hit and run tactics, using Centaurs to distract and just keep him from focusing on the middle objective. So lots of nice little plays like that right there.
Really
It's
good
very,
decision.
very clean.
Pushing
Tuskor
forward
Chariots
all
do
your
charge and
infantry
take quite a
off
bit
the
of damage.
point,
Yeah, about 400 or 500.
just to
Those are
try and
fighters.
force
Dryads are creeping
engages
on up.
way off
Back
of it
objective.
and
Ooh,
give
I
your
actually like this.
Centaur
The
mobility
idea of sending Dryka to the back objective,
more of a
just, like, kinda
responsibility
grind
to
on it
hold
and
up there
potentially
is
give you
honestly
it
a
in the
really good
fourth quarter of
choice.
The game is pretty good. In the back, we do have Centaurs coming in, and the Wood Elves are now going to be surging.
Wood Elves
towards
need to
middle.
leave
Dryads
the
fighting a hard fight
Treekin.
here.
Treekin
Centaurs
can
are
anchor
getting
that
surrounded,
back
but these are
point.
the all
Everything
bars.
else is going to
Crossbars,
really
so they will
struggle
slow down
because
these Centaurs, allowing them to
Centaurs
counteract a little bit.
have good
Collins for the
cavalry
Wood Elves, what is it gonna
cap
be?
weight,
Centaurs on the hunt. Glade
but
Riders do arrive up on the
Treekin
point.
don't take a
Probably
ton
more
of
important to pull the
damage.
Glade Riders in
It's
and
going to be a
protect these
long
positions,
time
I
before
would say.
the
But Wood Elves
Centis
with
could
the
cap it
hardwood
away
on
from
the
the
back
Treekin
point.
as
These
well.
Ungors are expendable units, so I believe they only have 2 capture weight. Dryads are potentially going to get off here. Dryka, why is she not helping, though? Yeah, there you go. You got to get in there and help. But flipping this back
Melkoths on
definitely
the
gives a sliver
Gore
of
Herd
hope
is a
to the
good
Wood Elves,
choice.
but, we
That
see
should
Melkoths
finish
going
that,
down
but
to
the
Gore
Dryads
Herds.
are
Dryka
probably
does
going to
give
break
a big
here.
buff to Fanatical Resolve. So that's going to buff the
It's gonna
remaining
be
Dryads
really
to fight
brutal.
quite a bit longer, which is very, very good. And is it going to get flipped? Wow, that's a play right there, guys. Back objective. We do get
Okay.
the Wild Riders coming out to get this. And now we suddenly have a bit of a closer match. Oh, but looks like the Beastmen stabilize it. He needs to get back on the point. Oh, he moved the Dryads off the point, and he gets back on. It starts to flip again. Okay, it's very, very close to flipping, ladies
Not the
and
Wood
gentlemen.
Elves
It's very, very
moving
close.
off.
All right, so we do see this objective here. Is it going to flip? It does. So the Wood Elves do get
my
that. So
God,
now it's
dude.
like they have a little bit of time to get the middle. But the problem is it's going to be very hard for them to hold this objective. Granted, Dryka, if you call in like some Glade Riders down there, they could probably hold it with Dryka. On the middle objective, Dryads and Treekin are arriving on the point, guys. Okay, back here we do have the Wild Riders hammering down the Gore Herds. What
Come on,
else are fighting
Ash.
tooth and nail
Rally
here,
to the
ladies and
middle,
gentlemen?
man.
And
You
Dryads
need
and
your
Treekin are gonna be some
Centigores
nice
there to
capture
hold
weight.
the
Could this
the
be a
cap.
forbidden comeback? That would be an insane win. Insane, but I just don't think he's
I
going to be able to hold
mean,
over here.
I guess
He
you
just
can
doesn't have
flip
enough. Yeah,
that
Riders
back
coming out with
point.
this desperation cap. The middle is flipping. I mean, Ash did kind of blunder a little bit by moving off the objective here.
Tree
Letting
can
the Wood Elves
stack
capture
on top of
that
the
is gonna buy
Dryads,
them
and that's
some
going to be a
time. On the
little
back
hard
objective,
to
Dryka is
flip
going
away.
Giga Chad. She's trying. The Dryads are broken. She has 3 capture weight. This is only 4 capture weight, so Dryka might be able to solo hold that.
This game is
And
crazy,
the middle's
man.
going to be flipping due to Ash
really
moving off it,
freaking
but
close
the side
still.
back objective.
But I think
looks
killing
like
those
it's gonna
Wild
go to the
Riders
Beastmen,
and
but that's a
flipping
much
that number
easier
1 is
objective
going to be
get back
game for the
the
Wood
Elves.
Elves.
That's a lot of capture weight here. Gore Herds, all these units, and that is going to be a triple cap for the Wood Elves, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to hold. There's just too many Beastmen. I mean, they're just fighting by the hair on their chinny chin chin here as the Glade Riders charge into the Centigores.
God, dude,
And,
I
the
can't
Wild
tell
Riders
you
are
how many
forced off
times
the
I've
objective
seen
by the
Glade
Gore
Riders
Herds
just
and
get
Angors. I think
folded by
that's GG, but
Centigores.
man,
They are
what an
not good
intensely
against
scrappy
Beastmen.
game.
What
Very
you
well played,
do
both
is
players,
you
man. Crazy
spam
mic on
out
both sides,
every single
and he's
Wild
just not gonna
Rider
be
that
able
you
to
can
hold.
summon
He did
out
get the
onto the
triple cap.
field.
Value is very close, but
Sisters
the
of the
Beastmen had him
Thorn
stuffed
help
a
out a
little bit too
bunch.
long. And that's going to
Because they can
GG, well
out-skirmish
played.
Sentis
What about
pretty
Ash?
damn hard.
Ash is a really good Wood Elf player too, so they know how to play Wood Elves. Yeah,
And they can
Wood Elf
also
Beastmen
help
are definitely
protect the
an S
Swift
tier
Shiver
faction.
Shard
They're
Core.
top 3,
They've got some
100%.
spells they can drop too. They've
they
got
might
Shield
warrant
of
some restrictions
Thorns
soon, we'll have to see.
and
But,
Curse
you know,
of
tonight we're
Onra
gonna see
here,
what's gonna happen.
which
So,
is a huge
Wood Elves,
debuff
really
in a
clean, solid
pretty
Wood Elf
big
play. It was
radius.
very fun.
Yeah, big
And
oof.
very, very good Beastmen play. I mean, what's not to love? That was an incredibly close match, guys. Yep, very close.
That was really well
So,
done
now
by
we have our top
Ash.
4. I don't need to
Ash
change
was
anything
playing with
since that was
fire at the end there,
top
but is one
And
of the
we are going
premier
to take a look here at the
like
old,
pedal to the metal stuffing
GG, great
strategy
watch indeed,
players.
It was great tiebreaker.
So definitely knew what he was
All right,
doing there.
So now we're going
It
to
was
go
really
ahead and advance to
impressive.
the top
Very
4.
well done.
Really seems like the Beastmen are favored in that matchup. Yeah, I feel like it's harder for Wood Elves to win, but it's like not so bad. It's like
I think if Dactyr had just not brought the Wild Hunters of Khorne, he would have done a lot better. They're really expensive. I doubt they got their value back that game. I'd be really surprised. All right. I'm actually gonna go and show you what I think would be a little bit of a better build against the Beastmen there. And we'll keep an eye out for the top 4, because we are going to get into that. We'll see which game Turin is going to be streaming of the two, either Pest or Out of Region. And then I'll message some folks. Ooh, Chorse versus Beastman. Hell yeah. So yeah, we'll spec Ash and Navigator here. Orange Pest smurfing, Grubby called it. Orange Pest beat me. I don't know about being a smurf. I see people talking about that in Turin's chat, which is pretty hilarious. I don't think so. Just a really solid player. And I'm pretty sure I've played Orange Pest on the leader ranked matchmaking before. Let's get away so we don't give up the game here. So we've got Chaos Dowie versus Beastman after the tournament, I guess. Or after this game, really. I'm gonna get off after this game, but before I go, I'll show a Wood Elf build that I feel pretty confident against the Beastman with. Alright, Beastman, probably pretty heavily advantaged against the Chaos Dwarves. I can't see this being easy at all for the Chaos Dowie. There's a lot of really good infantry options for the Beastman. I'm gonna go check the matchup right now. Oh, wow. Actually, holy shit. Chaos Dowie beating the hell out of the Beastman. Goes to show what I know. They've got an 83% win rate against them, too. We'll see if Ash is able to flop that around. Navigator is a damn good Chaos Dowie player. Definitely one of the people who's very practiced with them, and always a threat. I'm gonna flip away for a second. I want to peek at the builds before we get started here. Oh, baby. Okay. So we got Doom Bull coming out. We've got Shadows. Oh, a Deathcaster. Okay. With Spirit Leech. Just Spirit Leech? He's got to be using it against the trains, would be my guess. Using it on the Sorcerer Prophet is going to be a huge waste because these guys have Chalice of Blood and Darkness. It does so much healing that it's almost never worth using on them. They just heal right through it, especially if they're on the Bale Taurus, which has a massive HP pool. It just takes way too long to be able to chew through those guys. The trains, though, don't have any spell resistance. They should be a pretty good target for it. And then you can hit them with throwing axes, and Razor Gore Herd aren't bad against them either. They'll be able to stop up the momentum and maybe get the give the Minotaurs time to get on target. Chariot Lord, too. Maybe gonna try and use this guy to run over some infantry. You need to be careful with them against the high mass Chowie. But they'll be really good at running over any chaff that might come out. But It's a tiny little army from Navi. We'll see how it goes. I find oftentimes that Chaos Dwarf Warriors don't hold up very well to getting cycle charged, regardless of the target, and Razor Gore Herd have a crazy high bonus with good AP values. They're probably going to be able to clown on these Chaos Dwarf Warriors. There's one throwing axe, one regular Centaur, lots of Unger Spear Herd, a Pestigore, just more garbage infantry. That's probably for the best. You don't want to bring anything of super high quality against the Chowie, usually. I like the Bale Taurus characters, but this guy's going to have to put in a ton of work, and honestly, the Lamassu is a pretty good option. You get some, you get Enfeebling Foe and the Withering, and if you get good casts off of that, you can flip an early fight in your favor pretty quickly. As well as just being resilient to any spell casting, it's honestly pretty nice. Good fire in here early. I would drop a Burning Head through here. Like, angle it through, and maybe you can catch all the Unger Spear Herds. But it does look like Ash is preparing for that possibility. As starting to split them up a little bit. They're a little blob there, still for my liking. Blazing Beards of Basharak moving up. You can probably use one Blasting Charge Volley against the Spear Herd, and then try and get the Pestigores with the other one. That'd probably be the best answer here. Really decent call here, jumping on top of this Razor Gore Herd with the Bale Taurus character. Be able to do some serious damage. Probably going to take a little bit in return, just because these guys, obviously, like I said, good AP values and good weapon strength on them. But rampaging them, shooting them with the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, it's probably going to break their leadership pretty quickly, and a Terror Route goes down. Really awesome catch here early from Navi. Got to avoid stuff like this happening. Blasting Charges waddling into combat a little bit. They do end up getting the volley off, but it does end up landing a little bit short. Now they're getting engaged by the garbage tier infantry. With a Razor Gore Chariot coming out, Chariot definitely needs to loop around and charge down the side of all of those guys. While the trains are going ham against the throwing axes. Wow. Bullying them away early. A good Burning Head goes down, helping out the Chaos Dwarf Warriors. They took a bunch of damage from the Razor Gores, but one of them is obviously gone already. And then we get the Bull Centaur Render Great Weapons coming in, who are doing some big damage. Oh, Piercing Bolts of Burning might actually do some serious work here. There's a lot of units in the area of effect right now, and it actually punishes quite a few of those Beastman units. Breaks leadership on a bunch, and the Terror Route's coming down. We do get Pesties moving in. Bull Centaur Render's in a really dangerous fight. They're probably not going to get a lot of value here. They're very overwhelmed by all the targets in here. Bull Centaur Renders don't do well against Minotaurs. This is not a very good trade for them. And the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, a little too far away to be able to get their shots in on the Minos. Sneaky Gits coming in, firing their precursor missiles and not hitting anything, basically. Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders need to get in there and save these Sneaky Gits. They're going to get racked on the charge here, taking big damage from the Senties. Trains trying to do their best, but this one's basically been dealt with. It's got an okay value, but it chasing the Centaurs this whole time is not ideal. It'd be better served getting through in the front line where he can drop shots with the shotgun. And I think that was actually friendly fire that did all that damage to the Blazing Beards here. Chaos Dowie are going to get up on the point finally, though. But Beastmen win the #1 objective, and Chaos Dowie lose the train out here. Sneaky Gets finally moving forward. They're going to be pretty easy to push off. I don't think they're very good against Beastmen. Way too squishy to shock damage. Chowie Warriors get up on the point. They've done okay. They've gotten pretty banged up, though, from the Razor Gore Chariot. But the Chowie are locking this thing down. It does push away. It's got a decent chunk of health left. Sorcerer of Fire up in the sky. Gotten 700 value so far. You can't split push against the Beastmen like this. I think if the Chowie had just focused on the #1 objective and holding on the #1 here, I think they'd be in a better spot. Like, what you do is you keep both trains here. They can push anything away that's trying to get through your Chowie warrior line. And then you commit to just bringing everything else out onto the #1, and you'd be in a little bit of a better position here. Losing the Centaur Render is a big loss. There's no answer to theCenties chasing down the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders here. Centaurs do have a shield also. So they can block up a decent amount of this missile fire. Even though they are going to take damage on the nose through their with their very light armor values, shouldn't be too terrible for them. Train looking to get after the throwing axes, but Ash is just so good with the micro. Kiting back, drops another good Spirit Leech. Spirit Leeches have been pretty good so far. Not a ton of value on this guy. Any little bit helps. And the Razorgore herd are going to be able to lock the Iron Demon in place, probably. Get some good damage on it with the throwing axes supporting. Probably going to be able to finish that there. Piercing Bolts comes down, gets a little damage on the Minotaurs. Not shining through much, though. And the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire is taking big damage here from the Doom Bowl, as well as the Mino Great Weapons. Blazing Beards of Basharik got decent value, but just not going to be able to hold in there. End up going down. They didn't get their blasting charges off. Navi is just a little too far behind on the micro level to be able to bring this back. There's been a few critical mistakes. A little bit too many angles being pushed on to adequately deal with the aggression that the Beastmen have been bringing out. And the Centaurs are just running over the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders. Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders are great in this matchup, but they have to get the jump on the Centaurs. They cannot take head-on charges. Their leadership is too poor, and they also struggle against the sheer weapon strength and charge bonus that Centaurs can bring to bear. Even the throwing axes can trade pretty favorably into the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders. Passion Stark Ravagers in the middle here, fighting against the Minotaurs. And the Great Weapon Minotaurs have gotten good value. With the Centaurs swarming all over the Dark Ravagers, they're going to die there. And that is going to be a very quick game. Very unfortunate. Ash all over that one. Sorcerer Prophet of Fire, man, really not getting nearly enough done. I said this guy was going to have to carry and had an opportunity, but just a little too isolated on that #1 without enough help, man. This is a very narrow build for the Chowie. I like the trains early, but they didn't support the middle fight at all, which left these Chaos Warriors to their own devices, and they just ended up getting pushed back by the Razorgore Chariot and the Pesties and swarms of Centaurs. While the trains, you can see they got okay value shooting the shotguns into the Centis, but they got dragged down by Spirit Leech as well as the Throwing Axe Core, and they didn't cap any objectives, which is the real issue against Beastmen. Beastmen struggle if you can just push through them and get onto the points, and then they have to come to you. You can usually prepare a strong enough build to be able to ice them out completely. And Chaos Dowey can definitely do it. I don't think you do it with all these Hobgoblin Cutthroats, though. I think that what you're better off doing is bringing Fireglaves in reserve and relying on value that way. I also think that while your Bale Taurus characters are a really good option for you, I'm going to just talk about some of the matchups. I'm going to talk about that Chaos Dowey Beastman matchup, and then I'll talk about Wood Elves versus Beastmen, and maybe I can shine some light on how you go about counteracting what the Beastmen want to do there. So where are the Chowie? Here they are. They're up here. So I do think that the Sorcerer Prophet is the way to go. You could bring the Bale Taurus with Burning Head for sure. It's very good at clearing out the chaff, which can be really awesome early against the Beastmen. I would bring Cascading Fire Cloak as well, though. Kindle Flame is a good option. I would bring it on the Lamasu, personally, but Bale Taurus works also. If you don't want to go with the Bale Taurus character, though, you can always do this, which is Metal Magic. With Searing Doom, you bring Final Transmutation to punish really juicy blobs. You come into the Lamasu, you're super cheap. Searing Doom is so inexpensive, you can just drop this on all kinds of stuff. Blobbed up infantry, very good against Centigores, does a ton of damage. It'll half health a Centigore pretty easily, and if you get a really good cast off, you can one-shot a unit of Centis with Searing Doom. It's amazing. You don't want to use Final Transmutation unless your opponent blobs up both of the characters. Then you can get an upgraded one off and absolutely dunk on them. It is so nice. Lamasu also has Enfeebling Foe and the Withering, so you can break an early fight open pretty nicely. Like that fight with the Renders against the Minotaur Great Weapons would have gone really favorably if Enfeebling Foe and the Withering had been on top of the Minotaurs. Lowering their armor and leadership. They don't have very good armor values to begin with. Like, you can come over here. They've only got 35 armor to start off. Their stats are pretty low. If you're debuffing them by 24 and 24 with the Lamasu bound spell, they're going to have god-awful stats, and they're going to struggle really badly in the fight. And then you can also just drop a Searing Doom on their head. It's also decent against monstrous infantry. You kind of saw the same thing tried with the Firecaster by bringing Piercing Bolts of Burning. This spell takes forever to wind up. It's got a very small strike area. It does way more damage, but I don't think it's nearly as effective. It's more expensive. It's easier to dodge. And Metal Magic is just easily, by far and away, one of the strongest lores of magic in the game. It's good against everything. It's good for your skirmishers with Plague of Rust. I do think Final Transmutation is really good against the Beastmen, though, because their characters lack healing. If you can nail both of them with an upgraded, you're going to do like 1,000 damage worth of value on them. And put them in a position where they can get pushed down by really good missile fire, which you've got plenty of. You've got all the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders. Honestly, you can max out on them. You can bring 3 in the opening. Oglacons and reserves. I think that Goblin Laborers are really nice to force an early engagement from your opponent. You can do something like this. Then you can mix in a Fireglaive. Maybe cut one of the warriors, and then you can bring the Iron Demon, and then a Hobgoblin Cutthroat. This should be plenty. This is a lot better width. You've got a good missile unit that your opponent's going to want to have to try and dive. And then you can use the Iron Demon and the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders to support these dudes. You use the Train to punish any of the infantry that actually engage against the Fireglaves, while the Metal Sorcerer and the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders try and counter-skirmish against the Centigores. Because Centis are going to try and get on the Infernal Guard just to shut their shooting down and slowly wear them out. It's usually pretty cost-efficient for them to perform that role. You want to bring another Fireglaive in reserve. Hobgoblin Bows are fine. But, you know, Centigores are very good at shutting stuff like this down. Blunderbusses are not worth it. Too short range. They have a very long, they have not the longest reload time, but 11 seconds is still a decent amount of time. The distance can be closed on them pretty quickly, and the muskets are more accurate, have better range, and fire quicker. So I think they're better against the Beastmen. In addition, have better leadership and hold up in melee combat a little bit better. You can bring Chowie Warrior in reserve. Although maybe an Infernal Guard wouldn't be bad. Or even an Infernal Ironsworn. For the blasting charges and crazy stats, the only thing that's going to kill Ironsworn is ungodly swarms of, like, Razor Gore chariots and stuff. As well as a lot of the... whatchamacallits, the Great Weapon Senties. But they should still be able to hold up decently, even if they're getting swarmed like that. But maybe the cost efficiency is the way to go. I just think you need something a little heavily armored to be able to hang on to the objectives. Both Centaur renders you want a couple of the Wolf Raiders. Maybe some characters wouldn't be bad, like a Torok? The Torok honestly might not be bad bare bones in this matchup, but is getting a little expensive, and I do think you need more infantry out on the field. I wouldn't hate to throw Goblin Laborers into the mix, but maybe you do want some Cutthroats. Sneaky Gits, if they actually could use the Precursor missiles well, would be a good option, but these guys just miss everything. I don't know what the targeting priority is for the Sneaky Gits, but it's terrible, and they never hit their target, and they just end up wasting all of their time and effort. And you could be doing something else with your time, and it would be much better for you. Maybe just this kind of a build would be really nice. You've got the Wolf Raiders who out-skirmish all of the Senti throwing axes. Iron Demons peel infantry. You've got Searing Doom and Final Transmutation to punish fights of any and all varieties. You just don't want to land with this guy and try and get into combat. He's not going to do very well, except against maybe the caster for the Beastmen. He can go beat up on the Chariot, but the Doom Bull is going to be very good against this guy. So you don't want to use him to try and fight on the ground, but you saw the Bale Taurus get handled pretty easily by the Beastmen. It's a great monster, don't get me wrong. It is really damn strong, but it's so expensive. You go a little bit smaller with a better lore of magic, and I think you'll be able to do a little bit more consistent work. And yeah, you got a little bit of durable infantry. You use these guys to hold on the points, the Chaos Dwarf Warriors, while Hobgoblins and all of those guys just run up and soak up damage. You want to try and throw them in front of the Chowie Warriors so that these guys are fresh when they take engagements, and then they can actually value trade better. Otherwise, they're really lackluster. Chowie Warriors by themselves, without the chaff to screen for them, really aren't all that good. I never seen them trade well otherwise. What's up, Staunch? You did pressure me pretty good, but I've had a lot of games today against a person who's very familiar with the Tomb Kings, so I got a lot of practice in earlier. So I was pretty well prepared for that matchup. And that was a really good map for Khorne. Like, Tomb Kings kind of struggle on big maps against the Blood God. On smaller maps and maps with home objectives, though, it's a lot tougher. It's very hard. Oh, you know what? Let's go see, is the finals game being played yet?
It's pretty good. Yeah. Against Dark Elves, Azag is very good on his Wyvern.
So we might just go watch the final
game
game here. It's actually starting right now, so let's just flip over and we'll hang out. We'll have a little watch party, and then I'll do my last little bit of talking for the day after the game is all said and done.
So, Dark Elves versus Doom Bull. Oh, Doom Bull.
Tomb Kings have a pretty good matchup against Khorne.
Yeah, I love
Staunch.
it. It's like so
Staunch,
happy
if you
that
want to
all
beat Khorne, Bring the
Like,
Sphinx of
the Fixless
Uzkef,
tournaments, we did those a long time
and a
ago. They're fun.
Necrotech
They're
to
fun
heal
from a
it, and that's
casual
really
perspective.
tough for
For
Khorne to
competitive,
deal
I
with.
like people to
Because
compete
Syla
for
is
reasons.
great
Matchups are
against
interesting, but
yeah.
yeah.
Cetra, but against the Sphinx and Cetra, it's not going to be a very good fight. And that's going to leave Valkia a little bit behind because she's good at dueling, but she can't just sit on the ground all game and get smacked around by the big monsters.
The number 3 ranked player in the world, and Outer Region is currently the number 4 ranked player in the world. All right, that's pretty cool. I should say that the number 1 ranked player isn't Oishi at the moment, even though he's number 1. It's usually the winner of the previous season. So, like, I guess that.
I always wanted to know why I am the way I am.
Ugh.
My curiosity led me to end.
Don't use Ancestry.com, guys. They're data thieves.
Number 3 ranked player in the world for the current season would be a more apt analogy. All right.
Every time ads pop up, I'm
So,
going to
ladies
talk
and
shit
gentlemen,
about
taking a
whatever
look at the
company
forces of
is
Outer Region,
trying
it's gonna be
to
a
sell you
big
their
bummer ranking.
product.
With Soul Stealer and Melkos. So Soul Stealer, pretty good. You know, healing is always nice, and Melkos is an S tier spell. Corsair handbows are actually very good against Beastmen. They can kite most of the Beastmen infantry, put good hurt on them. They can absorb Centaur charges with their 80 armor and fight back.
5 million ads, let's
We do see the
go.
Bloodrack Shrine once again. So the
I
Bloodrack
think we
Shrine
could add a
do
couple
some
more
stuff. It's
zeros
very
on
good
there.
laser beam platform and,
Like,
you know,
5 million's
it's terrible.
fun, guys,
And
but
it's
what
like
about
that.
5
I think
billion?
that's very, very
Or a
For the
gorillion
rest of the build here,
ads?
an
I don't think we
Ash
can
is
get
a
enough,
Beastman
you know?
player. Ash
That is
a player
ultimately
who's
the
best
end
in
game
meta a
of
little bit. Ash is gonna be
capitalist
Warriors and
ventures,
Ungor Spearmen.
is to
We do
just
also have
bombard
the
you with
Flying
so many
Castles and
advertisements that your
Tuskor
brain
Chariots.
melts,
Yeah, Ash is one of
and
the
you
few
become
players that's
a
really
zombie
used Tuskor
who's willing to buy just
Chariots
about
very
anything
aggressively,
that is
which I
put in
think
front
is
of your
very
face.
Cool. Very, very cool. All right.
I like the Corsair handbows, but Turin didn't mention that Razorgore chariots absolutely annihilate handbows.
Yeah, so
Razorgore chariots against Dark Elves are crazy.
Those games once they get updates, you know.
They dunk on
once
the
we get,
front line.
some
It's
usage,
really
Empires
fucking
4 and then the
brutal.
Chinese expansion for,
I don't know how many Ash is going to be
games.
bringing though. I usually
Correct.
bring 2 against the Dark Elves
Yeah,
and
Dustin
have
Wars
had a
been
lot of
crushing it in tournaments.
success.
I don't know what it is. Maybe they got some milk finally, but yeah, in the meta they've been doing well. Like these Beastmen, because like I think why Bestigors are doing well is because of the Beastmen's ability to support them with mobility so effectively. So like the things that normally would punish Bestigors are stuck dealing with like the Centaur swarming, right? It's just my tinfoil hat. But yeah, so potentially, you know, Marathi can fight the Doom Bull for sure. Her
Nah,
anti-large
Turin is
good.
making a pretty good point about the Bestigors.
Single Scourge
Besties
on a
are a
chariot
really
battery
good
as
unit
well, so
though.
that's gonna be cruising up. We do see the Dark Elf Shrine, the Blood
They
Elf Shrine
hit almost
here.
as hard as
I would
Exalted
say this
Bloodletters.
matchup, the Dark Elves are definitely the underdogs. Beastmen are considered to be an S tier, top tier faction. Dark Elves are considered to be on the lower end of the spectrum, but in the hands of good players, they can perform relatively well. So yeah.
Bloodrack Shrine is
That is
really good
that.
against
Melkos going
Beastmen.
down on the central
If he
position
gets
outside,
caught by
that's gonna
Minotaurs
be
though, it's gonna
difficult
die
a little bit.
really
Beastmen
fast.
coming for a bit of a full court press. Dark Elves are going to have to reallocate some units. I don't know why. I think Outer Region blundered a little bit. He forgot about his Corsair handbows. He just had them kind of on vacation back here. But they need to move over here and make sure this objective doesn't flip because the Beastmen are going just full hog here, guys. Full hog. Minotaurs with great weapons eating some Scourge under shots, and the Leak Swords stand at the ready. He should definitely kind of pull back his formation a little bit. Engaging at a wide battle line against superior infantry is always a recipe for disaster. But the Blackheart Corsair handbows might be able to punish the Butchers of Copper.
Corsairs should definitely bunch up and start shooting the Butchers while they're engaged in combat. While they're in combat, their silver shields don't do anything, and handbows have really good weapon strength. They can do a lot of damage to the Butchers.
Into the backfield. Now, Cold Knight's going to be called out. Yeah, that's my guess. Cold Knights on top of the Butchers is going to be pretty cost effective, but yeah, steamrolling of the Bleak Swords. Here we do have the
This is going way better for Outer Region. This is a really risky fight for Ash. I'm a little worried. I do see some pretty good damage going down against the frontline units, but if he loses a bunch of the Centaurs, it's probably going to be GG's. Ooh, Soul Stealer though?
And we do see more Dark Riders moving into intercept.
I don't know, man.
Front line's getting folded pretty hard.
Now I'm saying that, there's a lot of problems going on with the repeater handbows. One of them's down about half health, and the others are running. They get terror at it, actually. That's thanks to the Butchers of Kalkengard have
there goes
terror
the
on
Black
them.
Ark Corsairs with
They're
handguns.
really good at
These
folding
guys
up
are
the
gonna be
front line of
big
the
as well.
Dark
That's game.
Elves.
This is probably just game over. Marathi dying there.
Ooh.
That was about as hard of a karate chop as you could get. Holy
Oh
shit.
my god, dude.
I think
Wow.
they're gonna
The
put up a stronger fight
Beastmen.
probably against all these.
Oh, they cracked open the front line, and that's going to be
Holy shit,
game.
man.
The
Ash
Blood
is
Rack
just,
Shrine is not going to be
he's
able
the
to
predator
escape all
with
these
these men,
Minotaurs
dude.
now.
I mean, he used a couple Centaurs, but it was mainly just like 2 or 3 Centis and then Chariots. His like chariot play is just so brutal. Oh my god. I will host earlier tournaments. I will start doing tournaments earlier here and there. Don't worry. Yeah, they're not.
Are
always
they
gonna be
Razor
late.
Gore? Oh, those
So,
are Razor
can
Gore
the Dark Elves
chariots.
get this
That's
back? I
why.
think Outer
Razor Gore
Region is
chariots are
gonna,
gross, dude.
Well, back when I was in
They're
high school,
easily the
unfortunately,
best
I
heavy
knew
chariot in
people
the
who were
game. They're
receiving
fast
those
as hell. They
things.
hit
It's,
crazy hard.
But this is
Their
definitely
mass
the one
and
version of
acceleration
the
is
Dark
really
I do think Dark
wacky.
Elves struggle in this matchup. I think it's kind of a
They
great
just
matchup a little
unga
bit, but-
bunga through
I mean,
all
look,
of the
he picked
infantry
Dark
that's
Elves. He had
available.
to
Look
use
at them
their own
run
ways
over
to
the
do it.
Black Ark
So
Corsairs.
maybe he thought there was something he could do.
Big damage on those
It's looking-
guys.
It's looking really, really tough, dude. Yeah. It's looking tough. So those guys get
Oh my
take
god,
and,
dude.
looks like, who let a steamroller into the tournament? I know.
Ouch.
Yeah, Ash is extremely good though. Beastmen are S tier, but they do lose plenty of games. But Ash is just his micro is very, very good, dude.
Ash brought the right tools
Yeah.
into the matchup,
know it. Yeah, so
and
basically
Outer
everything
Regions
is in Europe
build
and
is
more civilized parts of the world.
fine. It's just not
Swirlies
ever
when
going to be
somebody
able to
holds
do
you by
well
your
here.
legs, like upside down and dunks you.
Marathi is
I
too
did know a guy
squishy.
that happened to on the football team.
Marathi gets beat up by all of the
Alas, I think that is
lords
what's happening
that
right now.
Beastmen
So,
have access to. Marathi loses
yeah,
to
I
Malagor
think that's
actually,
gonna
because
be Marathi
Malagor can
down,
drop
Outer Region
enfeebling
is
foe
out
on
of the
her.
game here,
And
basically
he's
being
infantry
fought. Yeah,
size, so her
what a
stats go in the
brutal
trash
final.
can. And
considering
even
how
if
quick
she's
that
got her
was,
own
I'm
debuffs,
more than happy to
Malagor's
have
still
it.
got decent
So
enough
he was
melee
on
attack to be able to
client.
hit her while
Yeah,
she
I mean,
can't
that
do
was
anything in
destruction. I
return.
think the Dark Elves need to go back to the
And
maybe
it's
Black
pretty
Art.
brutal. She
Like,
does have
Black
Soul
Art and
Stealer
Aggron
though,
would be
so
pretty
if she
good
can
to
hit
back against these
Mally
guys.
with
I just
that
think this
a
build
couple
was
of times,
definitely not-
then it's
this
a little
front line
tougher.
was so weak.
But against a
That's
Doom Bull, she
right.
can't
Like,
even do
full weapon
anything.
wars, chariots, minotaurs,
Like you
like,
saw
the
her
front
land
line
in
was
there, and the Doom Bull
not
turns
ready
around
for
and
that.
has
not ready for that. GG, well
good
played.
melee attack and
Nice
good
try.
weapon
Yeah,
strength, as
definitely
well
gotta
as
go back to the
imbuing
drawing board here.
dazed.
Okay, so we're gonna do.
So he
the
like stun locks her,
current
and then
FFA of
she
Doom
just can't do anything.
to see who the real tournament winner is going to be. And congratulations to Ash. I mean, that was an insane victory, right? Brutal, brutal one.
Can we get in the
Okay,
FFA?
Who's going to come join the party? Anybody is welcome to join.
Oh,
We will
fat.
do the
Okay.
Bloodstone Crater. Come join us. I think we need to start the tradition of ending, or reignite the tradition of ending.
All right, let's get steamrolled in the FFA, guys. This is gonna be a good one.
Okay, and it is time, ladies and gentlemen. Join us. Maverick Sloth all up in here, and who else?
What do
we
we
got?
play here, though? You know what? We're gonna do something silly, man. We're gonna play demons.
Oh, Anticity, the Dark Lord is
We're
here.
bringing Red
Back in
Olgor,
King
ladies and
Rises.
gentlemen.
I'm gonna play some High Elves. Yeah, let's play some High Elves. That'll be fun. I think I'm gonna play High Elves for the next SFT. I've been.
And then we get
Taking
the
it to
blue
play,
scribes.
but we
We
got the
do want
blue,
Spell Siphon because it's really strong.
Double. No idea how to say that. Okay, so we all know the meta for FFA is just mass mobility, right? So, Demons of Chaos. Oh, we got double Demons of Chaos up in here.
Oh my god,
No
2 Demons of
Seekers.
Chaos players.
Seekers. We're not bringing
No.
Seekers or Heart Seekers. None of that shit. No, not gonna happen. We got
Okay,
the
no
wizard
Seekers.
himself and
Fine.
Disney's here.
Okay.
Um,
Turns laying down the law.
so
I'm gonna mute
gonna have
his
some fun
stream.
with this, guys. Yeah, that looks good. We can bring this for.
Alright. We're doing wacky stuff here. Bring a nice little air force to protect our changebringers, just in case. Festering Stooges will be funny. We got 1,600 gold to work with. What the hell else are we gonna bring? Double Beast of Nurgle? Oh, this is a really stupid build, but maybe it's gonna work. I don't know, man. So we have to protect the Festering Stooges, or we're gonna lose immediately from all of our units being flyers. These guys are just gonna waddle into somewhere. I don't even know where the hell they're gonna go, but they're gonna do it. And then we're gonna use Red Olgor and the Blue Scribes with the Changebringers to just fly around and nuke stuff down is the idea. Any fight on the battlefield, we're gonna go stick our grubby little fingers in it. And then we got the Shriekers with the Furies here to try and protect those two guys. This isn't really a build that's gonna stay on the battlefield for that long, honestly. It's probably gonna struggle really hard to be the last man standing. But maybe the Festering Stooges and the Beast of Nurgle just sitting somewhere and hiding and waiting for that end stage of the game are gonna be way too hard for enemies to chip down. And Red Olgar is a good combatant. He can get around and contribute pretty nicely, and he might get some heals from the Blue Scribes. And Blue Scribes, who knows what they could get? It's a casino every day of the week when you bring these guys. We should give the I'm gonna give the Furies each a little chevron here, just so they hang around a little longer. Although maybe we'll bring one Tzeentch Fury. Maybe we don't need a Deathbringer either. We'll just put that on him, sure. Okay, I'm ready. That's looking nice. So, very silly build coming in here that could just get absolutely smacked up if we're not careful. But we've got a lot of Tzeentch shields. We should be able to take decent engagements and just pull away from our opponents without getting absolutely rolled. And since we're all flyers, we'll be able to move around the battlefield easy as can be and take advantage of folks. We're ganking today. We're jungling, basically. And then we jump out, and we take anybody who's busy faffing about in the mid lane, because, you know, that's the most obnoxious way to play. The Beasts of Nurgle are gonna be there, and they're just gonna exist in the middle of the Festering Stooges. They're just there to be difficult to kill, potentially. We'll see, though. I mean, you never know what people are bringing in the FFA. Red Olgor is also not a great Lord option, honestly. But, he's the fun one. Alright, these guys have to be off fire at will here. Where do we sit? Honestly, we probably sit on the reverse slope here. And it's going to be really hard for our opponents to be able to shoot these guys effectively. And then we can just kind of troll about the field with everything else, like I've already said. We'll also be able to scout pretty early, too. Red Olgor, with all of these flyers, should be able to see what all of our opponents have early. We'll just put all these guys in group 6, I guess. So tons of mobility over there for the High Elves that I don't think we want to deal with. Oh, we've got Solastra over here. Ooh, Carronades. We can feast on these Carronades early, dude. Oh my god, it's a full artillery build from the Vampire Coast. Oh boy, dude, they have nothing to defend themselves here except for these Carronades. We're just gonna try and juke as much as possible and get over these cannons and just nuke them into oblivion here.
Of course.
We need to get these guys moving too. What spells have we got? Oh, Talons of the Night. Oh, Fleshy Abundance and Biting Wind. We're gonna hang on to all this, I think. Changebringer's actually not doing nearly enough damage to the artillery right now, which is a little unfortunate, but we are probably going to be able to line up and get better damage here in a minute. I don't know what our flyers are doing. Oh, they got caught out by the High Elves here. Oh my god. This is going to be brutal. Our poor little Festering Stooges and stuff are going to die immediately. Alright, well the Beasts of Nurgle are just gonna get away from here. I mean, there's no saving the Festering Stooges. They're pretty much dead already. They were never meant for this world, obviously. We just need units on the ground to be able to do stuff in the late game. Oh yeah, let's get the Blue Scribes the hell away from Azag. Red Olgor can come over and save this guy. We might be able to avoid this. You know, the nice thing is that enemy units that are trying to chase your stuff down in the air really can't do much of anything. It's very hard to engage in the air. Turn around. Changebringers are gonna run. Festering Stooges are dead, which is brutal. We're gonna get the Beasts of Nurgle through, though, and see what we can do with them. Changebringer's getting hit by something, which is rough. Red Olgor winning the fight. We've got a Heart of Winter, too. Oh, baby. How much is this to overcast? You know what? I don't even care. We're honestly just gonna go for this. Let's punish Eltharion now that he's landed. No, not the Beast of Nurgle, please. We're just gonna pop this here, just try and keep him alive. And the Changebringers need to open up and nuke this guy. Oh yes, big damage. We are way behind on the value, which is a little unlucky. It is what it is, though. I mean, we're getting shot up by something. What is shooting the Changebringers? I don't even know what we're getting hit by. Beast of Nurgle staying alive here, somehow. Night Shroud, Blue Fire. I'm just gonna save up for maybe something big. Oh, Tempest is available here. Oh. Turin hard punishing me, dude. Oh my goodness. This is really ugly now. The full Air Force build countered by one spell. And these Changebringers going down. They got okay value, though. We tried something. Obviously, we should have stuck with something a little bit more consistent, I think. And we're going to lose our force here. But these Changebringers get a nice volley off. Melting a bunch of stuff down. Let's try and get away now. Save up for a big spell cast. What do we have? Pavane, Transformation, Cursed Cauldron. Ooh, we're saving up for Cursed Cauldron. That's the goal here. Alright, Red Olgor is going to get up in the sky. Blue Scribes are going to run away with the Changebringers. We should be able to stay in front of the Arcane Phoenixes. Maybe we can go after Eltharion, because he's a little low. Nobody's even touched the High Elf army, hardly. Everybody immediately dove onto all of the artillery here. See if the Beast of Nurgle can maybe squeak away from here. Alright, there we go. We managed to just run away like cowards for long enough that our opponent forgot about us.
Chaos unleashed! Evisceration!
Go, Red Olgor! Get him! Nuke the infantry! And then we get Cursed Cauldron up in a minute. Wherever there ends up being any kind of fight that blobs up, we're going to drop that and see if we can get some value back that way. Arcane Phoenixes are beating the crap out of our guy here. Reign of Chaos is giving me Relentless Rage. That's cheesy and kind of cute, but not gonna save us here. The blue scribes need to keep running. Oh my god, nobody can deal with the Arcane Phoenixes. Keep going.
Demon Prince! Champion of the gods! Moving!
Alright, this is where we drop the Cursed Cauldron, I think. The fight is going to go down here. I think we'll get some good damage. The Changebringer's running across the map here. We got a little bit of damage, but Turin spotted it and managed to avoid the worst of it, which is a little unfortunate. We do technically need to land, or we're going to lose all our units here. Alright, Red Olgor is going to land on the ground. And the blue scribes are going to dip, dive, and dodge their way to victory, I guess. And it's basically Turin dominating the battlefield. And Turin's got a big lead. My army, not very optimal for this FFA, oh my god. Totally overwhelmed by the superior weight of enemy power here. Maybe we can get up here and drop a Amber Spear or something. I don't even know what we do at this point. There goes Red Olgor. Beast of Nurgle and the Festering Stooges were not it. I actually did pretty good damage. Holy shit. It's kind of surprising, honestly. We'll Shem's Burning Gaze this guy just on our way out here. We're just throwing it at the wall here, and then we'll get engaged in combat, and we'll use Relentless Rage. just to keep him alive a little bit longer. We'll see what he can do against Eltharion with, like 10 seconds to go. No, don't run away, please. Oh, God. That's rough, man. Got 2,700 out of him, but, Red Olgor didn't do a whole lot, and we had a little bit of a struggle with the Changebringers. With the Arcane Phoenixes and Eltharion. And I don't know what happened to our flyers, man. I swear I gave them orders to fly over and support me. There must have been a Tempest that got them. It does debuff speed pretty significantly. Because the Shrieking Skyrays were not able to get anything done. Dude, Celestia down here doing work, though. 2,100 value on her. She didn't do bad. The Arcane Phoenix has got big value, man. 13 and 1,600. Eltharion with 19. Look at the Illyrian Reavers, too. They all got solid value. Very nice high elf build for an FFA, man. Dude, Anticity's artillery build honestly didn't do nearly as bad as I was expecting it to. It's honestly pretty impressive. Got better value than I did. Oh, Vangeist's Revenge. What a way to go. That's how we do it. Wow. Turin, the true champion of the tournament here. Very impressive. So, decent value on everything that wasn't our infantry, which just died, as well as the Beast of Nurgle, dude. They got bullied really badly. I thought that what I could do was move my infantry and the Beast of Nurgle over to hide in the midst of other fights. They just got singled out, and then the Furies and Shrieking Skyrays didn't do much of anything either. That was a fun match, though. I mean, it was certainly interesting. Turin basically just got a free win there, because everybody else brought some of the most insane nonsense I've ever seen in my life. This is like a proper Greenskins army. Trolls did good. Hammer Gork didn't. Doomdiver didn't do anything. And the cavalry ended up being pretty mediocre. Scurvy Dogs got good value. And the artillery did nothing, which I'm not super surprised by. Really, it was Celastri who got all the value for the Vampire Coast. But crazy fun game, all things considered. It was a little wishful thinking on my part that the Festering Stooges and the Beasts of Nurgle would be good here. Probably Barons of the Bog would have been better. Or just like an unholy swarm of toads. With just a ton of Nurglings or something. Maybe I could have tried that out. But, you know, live and learn. I haven't played an FFA in God knows how long. Well, thanks for joining, guys. That's going to be the end of the stream. We had a nice little go of it in the tourney. Fun little FFA at the end. I'll catch y'all around another time. Thanks for showing up, guys. Y'all take care. Peace out.